I heard something like, oh, nah, Conejo ain't on this, homie capped already. I'm on that level.
That's right.
Fuck you talking about, you know?
That's right.
I'm over here dealing with people you're never gonna get to be around. You a rapper. That's it, homie. I'm more than that.
All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the American Cholo podcast. Today we actually have a special episode for you. So prepare yourselves to go on an incredible gangster journey like no other. Our next guest is a rap artist, actor, and former fugitive on the run. He's a Los Angeles icon. He has released over 100 albums, and many of those were while on the run with his daughter in Mexico. Please welcome the Chicano rap king, Conejo. What's going on, player?
What's up? What's going on, everybody?
How you doing?
Finally,
homeboy.
La neta, da?
Hey, good things come those way, right?
Yeah. Now I have to be right setting, right place, right time, and right now, we there. It's time for that.
That's right, brother. And I appreciate you. I appreciate the homie Prime back there behind the scenes. I let everybody know that make this happen. We've been discussing this for
a minute.
Un año y medio, 2 años, something like that, right?
Yeah. The whole time we've been recording the new album, the reset, the same amount of time.
And we'll get into that. So let's just jump right into this, man. Where were you born and raised at, homeboy?
I was born right here at the Queen of Angels Hospital right here in LA. It's like a nun hospital. It's like a Catholic So I guess my parents didn't have no money, and my mom was ready to go, and my dad just ran into some nuns on the street and was like, "We don't have nothing," and they're like, "Bring her right here," and I was born right there. They film Nightmare on Elm Street. That's the boiler room.
Really?
Freddy Krueger shit. They did. I don't know. I'm not now.
No, I'm saying, but that's where you were born at.
I was born right there, Queen of Angels Hospital.
Wow, so you were one of the General Hospital babies like everybody else.
Nah, could have been, but I guess my parents didn't know how to communicate.
So where were your parents originally from?
They're from the state of Jalisco.
Son de Jalisco.
I guess basically my family started showing up here in the 50s and the 60s. I was born in the 70s. I grew up in the 80s, and I just started doing my dirt all through the 90s until whenever.
How many brothers and sisters do you have?
So a bunch of them.
Oh, you guys are deep like that, huh?
Yeah. Look, first I just come from I'm gonna explain. My grandma, my grandpa had 21 kids.
Wow.
So that goes through my whole family. So we're we're just a big family.
It was a bunch of Mexicanos in one house, huh?
Yeah. I mean, we start spreading out. We all came to LA.
Right.
Then the first move went to Southgate. A group went to Southgate. Then my mom and her sisters, they landed in Van Nuys. And then next thing you know, they're in Paris, not France, but Paris over here.
Yeah, for sure.
Y luego llegaron a Vegas, y now we're in Florida. We're everywhere now,
Now, was it hard for your parents to keep up with you guys as far as because you got so many kids, and obviously what you're saying, they didn't have that much money, so it wasn't like you guys were in sports and all that stuff.
Nah, but you know what? I don't know. I think it was just different back then. It's not that they didn't care, but it was just different. Because right now, my daughter's like, let me walk to Starbucks. I'm like, fuck no, I'll take you. You know what I'm saying? Y antes, my shit was just come to eat and no te pases midnight type 11, and we would just be out all over LA. We were right here West Adams, but we'll be in Venice Beach during the day, Santa Monica, Culver City, skating. We're like LA kids, bike riding, jacking bikes.
On the RTD, homeboy.
On the RTD. If it wasn't, me acuerdo que we'll make fake bus passes. Nos daban el dinero. Because I remember the RTD bus pass at one point was like $7.
Yeah, for the month or some shit, right?
And then, but what we'll do, we'll photocopy one. And then since we were into graffiti and all that, we had all the what we call prisms, the markers.
Uh-huh.
We will we'll color it identical. So we keep the $9 and we'll just be everywhere. That was the shit back then, on the RTD.
That's right. So
it was like a mobile Skid Row and shit,
So were you a lot into the tagging scene, or was it your homies, or how did that come about with you?
I think everybody was in LA, people just wanted to fucking destroy property, I think. And
I think it was more they wanted to have their name out there.
They
wanted recognition.
Yeah, they want recognition, and I think kind of hip hop played a big influence on it. But then the LA Tigers were a little bit different. There was Tigers that were up, let's just say Whisk, Sleaze, rest in peace, Triax. There's just so many ones that were up, Chaka, and they would just Like,
big old placazos.
Yeah, and us, we were just like scribing on the windows and que un pinche mean streak but I don't know, but it was like yeah, I got into the tagging for a little bit.
What was the name, homeboy?
I was new one.
New one?
Yeah, NEW.
What was the name of the crew?
It was RNS, Rat Nuts. Look, it's crazy for us because we had a skate crew called Rat Nuts.
They used to skate too.
Yeah, I used to skate.
That's right.
And then I was from MBT, some crew that I think they became a gang like way after.
Okay.
At one point, like a gang, as a matter of fact.
Really?
Yeah, pero MBT eran todos. En esos días eran todos.
It was all kind of races.
Yeah, because back in the day, like it would be like dudes they'll belong to like 10 tagging crews. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll be from this one, que AOB, que this, que you'll be from all these tagging crews. MBT was just like a sort of like a South Central tagging crew that was just deep and
that was
rowdy.
before all the racial stuff really kicked in.
Yeah. Because I remember we would ditch school and we would go to HP, to the Dollar Movie Theater. Y estaban todos los güeyes there was another crew with MBT. It was called NTS, and it was the same. A lot of them became Florence's.
Oh, wow, really?
Like these tagging crews, they were just depends where you were.
Yeah, it's like
at.
anything else. It's just like even different tagging crews become different gangs at the time.
It's like even like I mentioned Sleaze. Like I just always seen Sleaze up, but like later I find out he was from White Fence. I was like, oh shit, really?
Really?
Yeah, from the ones right here in Hollywood. So I was like, tagging was around.
That's right.
Just bombing shit.
Were you doing ollies on your skateboard, homeboy?
Everything. We had a half pipe that was like famous. It was right there on Vermont and 22nd. De hecho, I don't know if you know Fabian, the actor.
Yes, of course.
He just came out. He's from 18th Street.
Yeah.
So when he came out, he told me, he was like, yeah, what's up with Güero? Güero is Veneno.
Okay.
So he's like, man, I was from Rat Nuts. I used to skate with y'all. And I was like, what? I told him like I was from Rat Nuts. I'm like, where? And he starts telling me all the ramps. So he was like, we had a half pipe on 22nd in Vermont, and there was one on 28th in Vermont, a big one. So he knew everything. So we're like, oh shit, we're like.
Did you ever hit the half pipe?
All the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
There was a big ass half pipe right here in Culver City that we would come. I remember que veníamos todos, like todos los de acá. We'll skate all day, y ya when it was time to leave, we'll start jacking fools. So we still had we jack for skateboards, and we had those little those little Dodger baseball bats.
Oh yeah, for sure, homie, for sure, the little one.
Give me that shit.
Vámonos, let me get that. Let me get that Tony Hawk or
bikes, lo que sea.
Caballera.
Yeah, and we just.
What was your favorite skateboard back then?
Man, there was so many. There was so many. I just remember like. Que una vez I came up on this one. Era el Bones, el Pau Peralta.
Oh, yeah,
the one that was ripping
badass.
out. I had came up on that shit. I had came up on this other one, and I did this low-key trade. Me fui pa Mexico, because back then, I had a big family.
Right.
So all my family would caravan to Guadalajara, to Jalisco, every year, like 10, 15 cars.
Deep.
So I did this move, came up, I did a trade, y me fui pa allá, y me acuerdo que my pops marcó pa allá. He's like, when you get back, te voy a poner una chinga. Ya vinieron aquí a reclamar un patín. But they described some other one, they didn't describe the one. And I was like, nah. I was like,
how was your relationship with your father?
It was kind of, rowdy, but I mean.
Was it because of you? Was it because of him? Both of you?
Nah, well, I think they had it worse.
Of course.
It was a different time for them. Then we come over here. And he's fucking up, so it's like there's leadway right there's wiggle room to do shit, and then he's not liking it, he's catching it. But I mean, I think like in those days, yo pienso que everybody used to get fucked up by their dad.
Yeah, of course.
And their mom,
It was a different time.
Yeah,
right?
it's like now it's like you try to hit a case, like, man, I'll call the cops on you.
Pretty much, homeboy.
I'll call children's services on your ass. Your own. I mean, she better not tell me that shit. I'll whoop her ass. I'll go over the border and whoop her ass. But
How about your mom? What kind of relationship did you have with your mom?
A good one. Mom's is always like.
That's right.
That's mom's
That's
always.
Yeah. You can't
even
do
though Pac, how he bump heads with his mom, same shit, bump heads. But at the end of the day, that's mom's. No matter what she's going through, and you somehow like naturally you understand.
Yeah.
You get it. You see her pain. You're like, fuck. Mom's going through some shit.
That's right.
You know, and so, but it's cool. She just called me right now, right before you came.
You'll always be here, baby.
Yeah,
doesn't matter how old
yeah.
you are. That's how mom sees you, right?
Cuando I was gone, it was kind of tough. Look, when you become an inmate, your whole family becomes an inmate with you.
And we'll get to that part right now. But now let's go into you're going. No. I still want to hear a little more of the skating thing, dude.
Yeah.
When was the first time? Because the reason I say is I was a horrible skater. I was that guy on my knee, fucking doing this. Fool. I couldn't skate. My life depended on it.
I wasn't the best. That was better.
No, but
it was better.
When you go into the half pipe.
Yeah.
How was it going down the half pipe going the first time, dude?
I mean,
how many times did you eat it before you finally landed?
A bunch of times. Even when I knew how to ride it, a veces, it'll slide out of control. Como están las plywoods.
Yeah.
And then from riding them so much, then we got like, esta mal, le vamos a poner masonite.
Masonite, yeah.
Let's make it smoother.
That's right.
But at first, we ain't knowing. You're
learning.
We built this shit. So
because skating was new back then. It wasn't something like now. It was brand new.
Y me acuerdo que I remember they were I don't know what they were building. We're getting ready to build this ramp, so I'm stealing wood from everywhere. But I mean, like from construction sites. And over there on Olympic and Vermont, I don't know if it's still there or what if that's what was built, but they were building something on the corner. So all of a sudden, you see up Vermont, you go down Vermont, a bunch of kids holding plywoods coming down on skateboards. The 21 footers, the 2x4s. Un chingo de pure little kids, because we must have been like 13.
Yeah,
maybe some of the homies were probably like 15.
Right. But you were all kids.
Yeah, they're all varied. Y luego, me acuerdo que había un homie que ese güey su mamá le prestaba una station wagon, them old long ones,
Right.
Y también loading that shit up, like we'll go to job sites and just go in there. We'll still even nos chingamos las cajas de nails.
Yeah, to make it.
Pop, 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 pop. So, vienen como, they look like a fucking pinche some Pancho Villa shit, You know which ones, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you guys use them. So.
Yeah, for sure. The roll is all plastic.
Yeah, so and I forgot how, but we built the sides and then we just laid all the.
But you know what the crazy part is? You guys were breaking the law, but you guys were being positive, believe it or not. You guys were being constructive because you guys were just looking to get a ramp because back then in the city, actually skateboarders were looked at as almost like pests. They didn't want skateboarders. They thought you guys were messing up the streets and all that, but you guys were actually doing something positive.
Y luego, pues, we grew up right there in USC.
Right.
So, like, de vez en cuando, there'll be an empty pool. Because we used to go pool hopping every summer, every year. Nos metíamos a los dorms.
Pool hopping, huh?
Everybody would do that. We'll go in there, like, llegaba el manager, and there'll be like 30 kids in a little-ass pool. Like they're like little peanut-shaped pools. 30 kids in there. Just like,
Just having fun.
Having fun.
Rebelling a little bit, but having fun.
Yeah. Y luego me acuerdo que un día, they'll push fools in there. And we would even put a ramp. We would take a little ramp on a bike, jump and land inside the pool. Like, la agua.
That's when the movie Rad was out and all that stuff. So you guys were doing that stuff, right?
Y we're like, man, there's a little laundromat right here and they're drying clothes. What? And they're USC students? Oh, shit, they got some Levi's? USC jersey? Oh, man, I'm taking this shit. So that was our new...
that was your new hustle.
Pues we used to take bikes from USC. Antes in USC, no había... In USC, the bikes were just like that. Beach cruisers all day. So nosotros llegamos...
It was a trusty world back then.
Yeah, so like after school, it'd be like let's go get a bike. And we'll go wander off into like the village. There was a thing called the village right there in USC. So I had movie theaters, all this stuff. Wendy's, we'll go in there. As soon as we seen a bike, oh, that one, vámonos. And then later they'll put that lock on the front tire. So we'll just take unas pinzas and we'll take off the front tire and take an extra tire. And then they start putting it in the middle. And then we have bolt cutters and we're just like.
And then the U-locks came in.
Yeah, and then it went from there to like scooters. Because they had scooters.
That's right.
So esas con el big ass flat screwdriver y un martillo. And then andábamos andando in scooters. And then it just.
Now, all this time that this is going on.
And this is like, we have long hair. Everybody's a stoner. We all have long hair. We're all like, like.
The straight skid or die, brother.
Yeah. And at the same, like, I don't know what year this was.
It had to be like in the mid-'80s.
Because I'm thinking it's after the Olympics. 84 was the Olympics.
Yeah, so 85, 86.
Yeah, around there. So, entonces, I remember right there in the neighborhood, pues empieza a salir these little football teams.
Okay.
These little football teams start popping up, and that was like the new shit. And then right there we're at, the football team was called Dead End.
That's what I was gonna ask you. You had they had the football team called Dead, and then they had I think also was it the Wild Bunch too?
They had Wild Bunch. They had right there where we're at, they had one called Network.
And what was it? Was it just guys in high schools or guys in certain blocks?
They were just from all over, and they were like, I mean, I was skinny as fuck.
And you were a kid back
I couldn't
then.
play
You were seeing
football.
the older
But
homies
we
do it.
would go.
Yeah, of
like,
course.
Oh, okay, que van a jugar. They would play like
The Wild Bunch are gonna play. The Dead Ends are gonna go play.
Yeah, they'll play against like other football teams that end up
Before
becoming
they
hoods.
became gangs, right?
So they'll go play, or we'll hear about it. It'll be like,
It's almost like you know what it reminds me of? You remember the Warriors movie in
Yeah.
New York? It kind of reminds me of
Yeah.
that when it all kind of began.
it start, and then in those days, well, that came in. Fu still had long hair, but now it's getting like slicked back a little bit, and it's long. And now it's going to like burgundy Polaroids. Que te los venden. You go to Swami and they crease them up for you. They sew them in,
huevo.
and then you put your name right here. They'll like sew in your name on the side, like, you know, whatever.
So they started putting the like,
fila the sweaters,
Right.
with the stripes on the side, and like,
yeah,
you know,
of course.
the white ones, and you know.
Now, did every football team have like their own colored jersey or their own colors?
Yeah,
or?
Dead End's jersey was all black, baby blue letters with the white outline.
That's right.
That was a Dead End jersey. Wild Punch was it's kind of white, off white. The thing was kind of grayish.
And by the time Harpies is already an established hood.
They've been there the whole our
right,
whole
they've
life.
been there, but it hadn't exploded like every gang in LA hadn't
Yeah,
really
I think
exploded as much.
I think it kind of like I think a lot of gangs kind of have phased out around that time. Like it wasn't popular. They were around because we would always see them. We knew them all the time.
But they wouldn't mess with you guys or anything as
Nah,
far as
because we knew them. Because
Okay.
because even like because at the same time, breakdancing comes in, right?
That's right.
So all this is going on. So I remember one of the homies. I don't know if you ever met him. He's a YA baby. Y este güey llegaba. He was from Harpies. He was G'd up and everything. Well, everybody be breakdancing. Y este güey llegaba and he'll be like, hey, I'm a break against you, but if you win, I'm gonna fuck you up. So ese güey era un pinche menace to society.
He's a white baby. Fool.
Yeah, y ese güey, yeah, you know, he was already banged out. This fool had like 501s, cuffed, you know, the
He had the
Chuck
stilo,
Taylors,
hombo. He had the stilo.
gray crew neck sweater. His hair was slicked back, pocket comb, little hairnet. Ya estaba, ese güey estaba bien cholo, you know?
Right, right.
So all these three things, I think in a way they like kind of combined.
Right.
And then like Dead End is really like a lot of the Dead End were really like little brothers of Harpies.
Okay.
We're like family with them. Like, oh, pues mi tío's de Harpies. It's the same neighborhood.
All right.
So it's like it came together. Y de ahí, it just like the gang shit exploded right after that. And I guess it's the same time get crack and the weapons and all these things. Like it just.
Because the area you came was one of the most violent areas in Los Angeles, right? I mean, it seems like the murder rate in your area was, I mean, it was off the charts, man. In like from 87, 88
Yeah.
to the 90s, right?
Yeah.
And how much of that did you experience? Did you see yourself like firsthand?
I think all of it. I think I've mentioned this before. In 91, mataron 17 homies in 1 year.
Insane, homie. That's insane.
But every year mataban como 13, 12, 15. Like it like little, you know, little graph or whatever, it go up and down. But I think 91 was the biggest, like 17 homies in 1 year.
And how when you were young, did you think, because now as you're older, you have a daughter, you have kids.
Yeah.
That's like, dude, that's a lot of lives.
Yeah.
Back then you weren't seeing it like that at all?
I don't think so. I think we're so deep. We're just so deep que se murió un homie, and then we'll be at this funeral and everybody's like, you know, having a good
part
time.
Of the program, right?
Yeah, and then luego ya, you go get back. And then back to normal program. And then, porque like in my hood, honestly, like I could just drive you and be like, ahí mataron a un homie. Ahí mataron tres. Because I always remember que, pues you know how Mexicans, how we do it, we pinches candles.
Los velorios y todo.
Yeah, ponen like where a food dies, there's some shit right there, you know?
Right.
Little picture, a little something, you know.
A memorial for them.
Yeah, a little memorial for them. So I've seen those everywhere.
Wow.
Around the hood, you know? You
You just become desensitized to that? Like it wasn't really hurting you as much anymore?
I think so. I mean, when you're out there, you're just out there. I don't know if you might. I mean, I think if it's your boy, you're close.
Right.
Yeah, you're gonna feel something.
Yeah, but I think the longer you go on it, the more it's almost like you're just in war and.
Yeah, and then like you kind of strategize. You start like yeah, you're like hip to it, because I remember there was this one time, right? There was this thing they called a party line. I don't even remember it. You would call this number.
Of course.
Hang up and
gangbang in the party. Meet me over here.
Yeah,
you're trying to pick up some chicks.
So you would like hang up and redial hasta que you just enter the party line, right? Ya entrabas. Y ya, I don't know, maybe like, 7, 10 to 10 people in there.
Yeah, of course.
And everybody had like a persona like, hey, what's
up, loco?
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
Homie.
And then, or you hear a female's voice. It's like catfishing fools, right? Puro catfishing fools. Y I remember like being on there, like, being young and, man, telling them, look, tonight we're going to be right there on 28th and Bolang, right in the apartments. Caile.
Come through, yeah.
And fools would come through. And we wait for them. It was like a sport.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a sport.
Yes.
But we seen some we seen homies die like some gruesome shit where we pull up and like una vez okay, so we used to kick it on we had harpies, we had a gang of spots. And then
how many different cliques did you guys have?
Okay, look, harpies, because there's dudes that are just from harpies.
Okay.
But and then there's dead end. And then the dead end split up into the Dukes, the Tokers, Tiny Locals, Little Towns. Like they break up into like that. But and the hood is the hood. You could.
Yeah, but the hood is the hood. But how many different spots? Like in other words, I'm gonna go to the dead ends. The dead ends is over here.
Yeah. They
had to be different parts of the hood, right?
They had that. There was a spot when se juntaban todos los chicos, but like there was certain of us that we could go to any spot because we grew up with a lot of them. So I could go to the Chicos and kick it with the Chicos all day, and then let's go to the Tokers, and then we'll go to the Tokers.
How big of an area did you guys have?
And these times we were from Washington all the way to Figueroa.
How many blocks?
No. From Washington all the way to King. That's a big ass chunk.
Okay.
And then from like Normandy, and then in some parts like Western, all the way to Figueroa.
And what surrounded your guys' neighborhood as far as other gangs?
Like on one side we had like enemies. We had King Boulevard 18.
Okay. Right
there where the King Swami was at. Those a little area. They had those apartments right inside the Coliseum. One was a big 1 and the other one was a big 8. Like, but this one
huge. That's what
all the gangs would do big. Like this shit was like, it was like taggers.
It was competition because the taggers got into the hoods and then they said,
so
right.
Like, man, we'll do this fat tips and we'll
who had the biggest placazos in the area out there? Let's say the top 3 throwing the big old placazos out there.
You know what? Man, I don't want to like sound like fucking,
this is just your opinion.
I think us and 18 because just the way the hood was laid out. Sí, antes ahí en la pura, ahorita it's a Rouse on Vermont and Adams.
Right.
Pero antes ahí era un big ass lot. And that wall was big. It was like a 2-story wall. So the homies would do big ass colored in Harpy spelled out the whole wall.
You guys get ladders? How'd you guys do
that? Ladders, all that shit.
Pónganse a trabajar, cabrones.
Pinches rollers. And then you do the shading with the spray cans.
Harpy's painting company,
homeboy. Yeah. Man, and 18 was like that too. But man, I think every gang because
Rockwood used to throw some big placazos
Rockwood had like the illest shit. Their shit was like
they were banging, right?
Man, their writing was next level, and then Burlington was another gang that their writing was like they had to like, and we would experience this when we would go gangbanging and we would see shit like, damn.
Even though you're hating on them, like, that shit's fucking badass.
Yeah.
Right?
So it'd be like, I don't come back with a fucking fire extinguisher and,
It was busting your eye, big old placazos.
Yeah, no, it was. So, I mean, so like I'm saying, we had the King Boulevards on this side, and un poquito más. On the other side of Manuel estaban los 1854. I think they're Tiny Locals.
Right.
On the other side of us, we had the Hoover Locals, that whole like Pico Union area.
Right, okay.
And then like right behind us, we had the Drifters, the 23rds. Arribita, por la Pico estaban los otros Drifters. I think the 12th Street Drifters.
Right.
estaban los Easy Riders arribita de nosotros, y luego atrás de nosotros hay otros Easy Riders, on the backside, like on Western, para atrás.
I mean, you guys had a good chunk because a lot of those hoods.
They have little.
Yeah, dude.
Little,
every you go to another block, you gangbang with
yeah,
somebody
yeah.
else.
Us, we had a big chunk. We had USC. We had the Village. So we had our own movie theaters.
But even with that big chunk, you guys still took a lot of casualties.
No, we took a lot of casualties.
But you guys also gave it back because you guys had a bunch of homies getting busted as well.
Yeah. A gang of the homies were just like we were.
It was war, dude.
It was war. It was war.
I think some people don't realize how bad it really was. But when you say you lost 17 homies, was it 17?
Yeah.
In 91?
91.
That's insane. That's an insane amount of numbers. And some people who don't really know you, Conejo, don't think you're lying. Because they think
it's all right.
because they think it's like today. But a hood today to lose 17 homies, that's unheard of.
That's their whole hood. That's their whole. Yeah.
No, that'll kill a hood right now. If somebody goes and kills 17 homies in 1 year, a lot of hoods will be like, we're done. This is insane.
Yeah. It's too much, yeah. Like I'm saying, like, y antes las gangs pues estaban deep.
Yes.
No matter what, you know, you know, yeah, mataban un homie, but it didn't, I don't think it affected us. It wasn't like, nah, I'm gonna stop gangbanging. That's it. It was like, it's even more.
Yeah.
It gave you more incentive. Like, now it's like, oh, nah, fuck those fools.
That's right. That's what it was.
You know.
Now, how did you, let's rewind it a little bit.
Yeah.
So we got Conejo. He ain't Conejo yet. He's the guy. He's the guy skating. He's the guy tagging. He's the kid doing that, right? You're still. I mean, eres desmadroso, way.
Yeah.
But you're still a good kid, let's say.
Yeah.
Where did that transition go to? Where now you're Conejo from Harvey's, homie.
Okay. There's this little. I'm not gonna say who did it, but there's this little liquor store right there on 24th and Catalina. It's called Sun Moon. So we used to smash pennies all day con un big ass sledgehammer and play video games all day with smash pennies. So we'll be right there all day, you know. Y también ahí llegaban los homies that later became the homies. But everybody will be in that little liquor store playing video games, you know. So una vez estamos ahí y llegan unos enemies y se meten buscando los homies and we're right there and they just socked us out right there. So right there it was just like, nah, fuck this. I just walked straight to the spot and was like, nah, that's it. I want to get in. And they just
did you have long hair when they socked you up?
Nah.
You already started to cut it down a little bit?
Yeah, I already. Because I remember there was this one time that I had long hair, right? And my mom hated it. So she was like, I had tengo un montón de primas que they all tienen estéticas. They all cut hair, right? So my grandfather grabbed me, they tied me with the extension cord, and they cut my hair. And pues I was a kid. I was crying. I was mad as fuck. I told my cousin, like, te voy a matar, pendeja.
You're pissed. You're pissed.
You know, because that was the shit. Like, back there, everybody had long hair. Like, you know?
Right.
And then it went to, like, a lot of people that had long hair went down to the ponytail. They're like, fuck it, I'll get rid of this and just leave the ponytail.
The rat tail back there.
So there was homies that had long ones, like, you know, like, that was the shit.
I remember that, yeah,
But ya cuando I got in the hood, yeah, fools were just already, like, fools were going to juvenile hall, fools were getting la tres. That was like, oh shit, se cortó con la tres. Ya to get the one, it was like, man, this fool's fucking bananas.
He's with it. He's with it, homie.
Yeah, este güey está loco or some shit, you know?
And who gave you your name, Conejo?
You know, it's crazy because when I got put on the hood, me sound little tricks. There was a big tricks.
Okay.
So I remember in the riots, I was already like I wasn't liking it because I was growing up already. Because the riots, I think I was like 16 or 15. I don't know if I know. We gotta do the math. I don't know, but I was around that age where I was just like, nah, that shit sounds too childish, you know. And I was already, you know, writing on paper, Conejo. This shit. Pero ya había más conejos. There's another Conejo that's like, I would say he's probably like, I just turned 48, man, he might be 58.
Right.
I'm thinking. And he was one of the football players, Conejo. And then había un veterano, Conejo, y luego otro. So there was already Conejos, but
yeah, the few.
So I remember that riots when the LA riots happened.
Yeah, 92.
Había una carnicería right there on the corner of Hoover and 23rd. Right here's Arco, and on this side of the street. Y había una de esas donde llevas where you fill up the water, los estos. Y me subí arriba and I caught a spot where I knew they weren't gonna paint it. And that was the first time, you know, Conejo, HPS, DE. So, and the homies were like, man, who the fuck is that? And but
And that's where it was born.
I ran with it right there, and
So you gave yourself the name Conejo,
yeah,
pretty much.
yeah.
That's right.
So
after you now you're in the hood and all that, where does your kind of rap career kind of begin?
we gotta rewind.
Let's rewind.
Okay, cuando breakdancing was in,
Right.
I wasn't a good breakdancer, but I could rap already. I used to mimic whatever, no matter what it was. I used to mimic it. So when we'll be right there, like my little crew would be like, "Hey, aviéntate esa." So I'll just like spit some shit, like whatever. If it was Houdini, the LA Dream Team, whatever,
That's right.
Kumo D shit, and like antes no había East Coast, West Coast,
Right.
And then I think, that's the thing that separates me from a lot of the homies that rap, because my foundation is way different than theirs. These homies came in the game with Chicano rap. Esa
Yes.
man ni existía. Me, I was just rapping. I didn't even trip on that fucking title. That's just a title, But me, I was just making music. Y my foundation, I came from like battle rap, underground hip hop. I always been on like, because antes digo que no había, there was no sides. Most of the homies that, era cuando ya había West Coast, and they're like, the DJ Quick MCA pa acá, aquí me quedo. And they won't listen to Gangstar. So we'll be in the hood driving around, and we love Gangstar. Like me and Veneno, we love Gangstar, like just to get a rep and all that, all these songs, like the beats were just like, to me, they felt like the hood.
Absolutely.
They were just like, they weren't like, the beginning or whatever became G-Funk or whatever. G-Funk existía. DJ Quick was that sound. They developed into that, above the law. And we used to hear all that shit too, pero I used to rap. I would write my own little raps, I just write raps like long. I didn't even know about 16 bars.
Right.
So entonces, fast forward a little bit, yo todos los neighborhood parties, all the backyard boogie shit, yo agarraba pinches instrumentals, whether it be, I remember the ones I used to use all the time was X-Clan. Because X-Clan had those like Parliament, George Clinton.
Banging.
They were banging, right?
Yes.
And then
a lot of people don't know about X-Clan.
Yeah, they don't know about that. And then entonces I would like those, and I would rap. Y me acuerdo que so un día, en esos días, to the hood, pues llegaban todas las de Florence, todas las de West Side Playboys, y llegaban las de Easy Riders, all the females, right? So las de Easy Riders, one of my other bros was dating one, pero she wasn't there that day. So la que llegó, she was dating, Chino from Escala.
Yes.
Okay, Chino from. That's how I met Chino. That's how it all started for me.
Shout out to Chino, man.
Shout out to the homie Chino. And so she was dating Chino, right? I didn't know this. So I got off the mic. Me and Veneno got off the mic. Homie's like, hell yeah. So almost raps like custom made, where we shout out all the clicks and a certain homie or whatever, right? So she walks up to me and she me da una little card. Y en esa card estaba un B-Boy, decía B-Boy Records. And she's like, hey, my boyfriend has a record, she said a record store, but I heard record company. I was like, oh shit, really? I made it. Me dio una card, I'm like, I made it, that's it, I'm gonna get a record deal. So le marco, I called the number on the card, y me contesta Chino. So he's like, hey, pull up over here to 900 East 1st Street in the loft area in downtown over there. Es donde vivía su boy, que became the DJ of the Black Eyed Peas. I'm a Motivate. They were in LA High. Like LA High was like the hip hop scene in LA, like for schools, like those schools in that area, which is this area right here almost.
They were popping.
Because LA High is not too far from here. Y entonces he's like, come through, rap. So I go, vamos yo y Veneno, right? Todos mis pinches raps, little notebook.
Ready to get put
papeles
on.
doblados, all kinds of shit, right? Y estos güeyes, they don't have shit. They got a little tape deck with a fucking cable and a mic. So estamos ahí rapeando y nos están grabando, right? Y ya, and then me acuerdo que that shit turned into like 3 to 4 hours. Smoking weed, we're chilling.
And this was the first time you ever met Chino.
That's me, and he's from 18,
Yeah,
but right there, that didn't matter.
That's right.
Because that area's always been like artsy people. So everybody right there is just like, you're an artist right there. I mean, like literally, like you're an artist, you're painting, you're a musician. So that was my introduction to that world, where I was like, oh shit, it's cool right here. The hood ain't that far. Fuck it. So entonces, me acuerdo que when I'm leaving, le digo a Motivate, le digo a los dos, le digo, hey, But because I was rapping on fucking instrumentals again, right? They had me right there rapping on instrumentals. Like,
Right.
hey, but how do you make a beat? How the fuck you make a beat? I want my own beat, like an original beat. And they're like, they hit me with the bad news, like, nah, well, you're gonna need about like 3K because you gotta buy a sampler, you gotta buy this. But I'm like 14, 15, maybe like 15. Another thing I was gonna turn 16. It's like, all right, cool. We start robbing, puras 211s, haciendo robberies, pero we would never come up. It would be just enough to get some Cortezes, get las Stanfords,
stay fly, fool.
stay fly, and just no.
The JCPenney shirts,
No,
carnal.
yeah, no se hacía. Y entonces, de hecho, we'll go to the JCPenney right there in North Hollywood and put on like 6 shirts, a gang of them, and then leave with a gang of white shirts on. Like, open up a gang of packs
Yeah,
and just
for
put them on
sure.
and take off. And we're in this dead end, right? One of the dead ends where we kick it at, which is viene siendo la Adams and Juliet. And fools already had Daytons on their cars back then.
Right.
So this is like 4 in the morning. We're in there like, todos los que don't go home.
Yeah.
All the
Los malosos, yeah.
todos los ways that don't go home.
Holding it down in the hood.
Yeah. So we're right there. Y pinche Camaro goes down the dead and fucked up. Y era como un IROC. Gold Daytons. Se mete esa madre and they're like, they go all the way to the end. They're like, fuck. So they start, so in chinga, we like push the big trash can. We block the street and we was like, hey, bájense a la verga. So we get these fools off, all cowboys. So we arrest these fools. We have them on the wall, todos acá.
So we arrest these fools.
The homies take off in the car. Y nos dejan a nosotros. So because I was a kid, so they like, the homies sort of like got us, you know?
Yeah, of course.
So we're like, nah, these fools are ours.
You take the car.
These fools belong to us. So we get these fools for bracelets, chains, these fools walked away in
Vámonos.
socks.
Vámonos.
The hats, all that shit, los cintos, todos. So ahí es cuando then I hit them
That
up
was
and
the
I'm
link
like,
that helped you out right
and
there.
I was like, hey, let's go shopping. All right, cool. Fuimos, bought a sampler, 4-track. It was a Tascam 4-track demo, microphones, headphones, cables.
That's
All right, now make me a beat. Y ahí empezó todo.
You invested.
You invested. I invested in that shit.
So you brought it back to Chino, or what'd you do?
No, not to Chino, to Motivate.
Okay, to
Because
motivate.
Chino, really, he didn't have a record company. He had a record store on Slauson.
Yeah, the store.
He had the store. So Chino, he'd come through all the time. We'd smoke weed on the roof. And then, and you know, I'd ask him and shit. And he would ask me about the homies, so he knew the homies. You know, because también the homies would go to LA High, even though they'll fight, but it was more different.
It wasn't as violent.
It wasn't, you know, there could be.
They probably, some of them even knew each other from
Yeah,
elementary
yeah.
school and a little bit
Yeah,
different stuff.
so Chino was just like, he was just tripping. He has all the original demo tapes. Él los tiene todos, los
Really?
cassettes, all the originals. He has them. So fucking, y de ahí pues ya empezó todo. So we record, like, okay, it was right there on 900 East First Street. So we'll be in the hood, and like me and Bandit, que es one of the oldest bros, he'll be like, hey, wey, low key, vete pa allá, wey. I'm gonna pick you up. So, cause homies will wanna come, you know? So we'll just jump in the car, we'll go to Motivates, start working on beats, recording, you know, that was the initial demos. They're out there, they're on YouTube. Fools that put them out there.
That's right.
Those are all the originals.
I want to read a passage from a reporter in the 90s out in your hood, right?
Yeah.
Let me read it to you. I want to know what your take on this.
All right.
In the late 1990s, reporter Hector Becerra described the Harpies gang, and I quote, like the winged mythological monsters they are named for, with a dubious power to spoil whatever they descend upon, the Harpy Street Gang has soured the lives of residents and merchants in the neighborhood.
I mean, I think that happened in every hood. You start victimizing your own community at some point, because at first you're there, but then
But is that how violent and how treacherous it was in the hood?
In the hood, it was violent. Like fools were dying like nonstop. Like there's even like conspiracies that cops were killing homies. There was like, you know, there's a one time where the way they hit the homies standing in 3 different locations, all were like headshots. Like there's no way fools knew how to shoot. Like there's just, I mean, I don't know. LA was just it was a different, it was like, I heard the homie say that one of the homies that raps, he said that shit's like mother nature and shit. Like, you know, shit's not right, shit's out of balance, se traga what it's got to, then it like reinstates itself, you know? And I think like, I mean, but see, even though he says that, when I was living that, I didn't feel it like that. I probably would have heard that and would have been proud of that shit back then.
Of course.
I would have been like, hell yeah, look, they saying we the craziest, out here or whatever, or anything, any kind of attention that we would get back then would be like homies cutting that shit out or,
And what do you think so many youth in that time were joining all these street gangs and doing all this stuff? Was it for the attention, recognition?
I don't know. Attention or recognition.
You ever thought about that?
I mean, it's kind of cliche what I'm about to say. Like fools will be like, nah, well, the recognition, this and that, the females, the camaraderie or lo que sea. But that's your neighborhood anyway. So it's like, oh, and then this is the gang from here? Okay, cool. And you kind of like, because I remember being a little kid and being like, harpies, a little kid, because they were there. They were my neighbors.
Right. They were already established.
I remember when they beat on my manager at los apartments. Los harpies had a ditching party. Y el güey vino a tocar because they were making noise. And they opened the door and just knocked that fool out.
That's how it was.
Y they like growing up right there, pues, por decir, we'll be in the hood, we're kids. Oh, okay, we'll spot some fools que it's from some other place. We'll go tell the homies right away. Allá están estos güeyes. What? Where? Over there. What they wearing? What they in? It's just, I don't know. So I don't know if, I mean, I would have been proud of that back then.
I bet. No, I think any hood would have been, to be realistic. Any hood that got any kind of piece, like how Fox News, you do all kind of things. They still do. Anybody comes on that, you're like, oh, the hood's on the news,
the
right?
homie, or they see footage of a homie or some shit.
I think when they try to downplay it, they don't know that they're actually kind of glorifying it much more.
Yeah, it's similar to that one with the two little kids from Cantenvaro Tortilla Flats when that came out.
Sure.
That was like huge.
Yeah, everybody wants to see it, and all of a sudden they're talking about that hood, and it gives them that recognition. It gives like free advertisement for the hood.
Free advertisement. So, I mean.
But I just said more so people kind of realize the life that you live, the hood that you live, the barrio that you're from. That it was very treacherous, and that's it was like other cliche, a product of your environment.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think that when you're like living it, I mean, I didn't notice that. To me, it was just like...
Yeah, it's normal.
Like Friday, you're getting ready, estás planchando.
Well, talk to me about that, homie. Talk to me about the stilo back then. When you're getting ready on a Friday, how was that?
Fools were G'd up back then. Like us, like the hood, like we took like the homies... They were like fucking fashionistas, la neta.
Fashionistas.
Like they took pride
before there
in
was
that
a fashionista on Instagram. Homie.
Yeah. So they took pride in that shit. Like a lot of my homies, I feel like they even set trends and just like the way they dressed and everything. Like they even brung some shit back que already had died out. Whether it be the little V-necks, with the sleeveless ones,
for
or
sure.
whatever. But you just because back in the day in the hood, like. The homies were like if your shit wasn't brand new, they'll clown the fuck out of you. Your shoes gotta be brand new. The little piquitos gotta be like white. That's like con un toothbrush. If you didn't have brand new ones, you have to have a little toothbrush making your shit look right. And your white t-shirts gotta be white. Because if they dingy, te dan un chingo de carrilla.
Sí,
be like, este güey, ¿qué? Esa madre, ¿dónde salió?
Homies would fucking would iron their boxers back in the day.
Yeah. The boxers. And like us, like we would wear 2 white shirts. That way, it looks whiter. You put one under so it looks like whiter. And then like the Cortezes, like we'll get like socks and then we'll put it like right here under the tongue so they look popped up. And it was sort of like a New York b-boy, but it was you're a Cholo, but you're making them look like puffy, like something like an Adidas would look, but you're just doing it with the Cortezes.
And did you see the trend also that because like you were saying, it went from long hair to slick back hair, and then the homies all became pelones, right?
Yeah.
You kind of saw the whole change in the whole thing.
Yeah.
Y los pantalones bien grandototes, güey.
Bien grandototes. I used to be wearing like 56s,
and
58.
You're still a thin guy, but you were a very thin guy back then.
Yup.
You were the 56 guy?
56.
No chingues, güey. ¿Cómo corrías?
Man.
I wasn't running fast, pull out the strap.
Man, I just was like, we had the little techniques to pin them in the back, para que you don't step on the pants and...
Supposed to put tape or put little...
we'll stick the little...
the stapler on there.
Yeah, and just, and I don't know, we just try to look right on the weekends,
It was a different time.
The weekdays is like, también, if something was going on, but you just be out there like...
So, how many years were you out there in the hood before the big chapter in your life that changed? And all of a sudden, it had you on the run?
Well... I went on the run and I don't know if it was the end of 2001 or 2002. I went right there. So todos los, like the tail end of the 80s, the last of the 80s, the whole 90s.
So you were out there with all that crazy stuff,
yeah,
huh, man?
so como 2001, 2002 es cuando me fui.
Right. And that's when you became a fugitive.
Yeah, and it's crazy because that last, I'm gonna say 90 days, but it might have been 60 or 30, who knows?
Right.
There was like 3 attempts on me where I almost got 3 different times. Un día me agarraron some dude, like, it was crazy because one of the times was a little kid, like maybe he was older, but he looked like he was like 13.
He may have been.
Yeah, I was right there in the park, and you know I used to work construction, carpenters union, all that shit. So I went to the hood to recop. I'll go get dope porque pues
Your construction at daytime and dealing dope at night.
Yeah, so I was right there waiting. Me lo fueron a traer. So I was right there. My bro went to the back. He was taking some fucking cable. He's like, I need this cable for the house. And I'm in the front, by across street from the park. There's a little barn. I'm right there, dirty, fucking Sears boots.
Homeboy.
Yeah, you know, dirty jeans. And I'm just right there. And I see a car coming down on the side of the park for like 4 guys. And I look and I'm like, what the fuck? His door's open already. He already had it open. And they're looking inside the park. They're not. I'm on this side of the street. They're looking that side of the street. And right when they get like right in front of me, I'm like, hey. And they turn around. I'm like, los harpies. And the little kid jumped out and he let one off. Y esa madre me quemó la pierna and it made me fall.
Oh, shit.
It like, I don't know, it was like weird. It me quemó. It burned through the pants. Like it skinned me. And I got up. And I remember there was a girl that lived right there. They had just bought a brand new Honda Civic. So when I ran around the Honda Civic, they lit up the whole front of all the windshield. Estaba llore at the end.
My car!
And there was a soccer game going on inside Hoover Park, right? So I'm like, man, should I just jump? Because it's the way he wouldn't give up. He chased me almost all the way to Adams.
Oh, he wanted that.
He wanted that. So I was like, could I make it or not? Like, and I was just like trying to psych him out. They took out, they backed up and he jumped in, he se fueron. Then I seen some soccer players at a gas station, right? Normandy and Washington, the hood. We're just hood patrolling on a Sunday. But I, like some of them were bald, you know? Y I'm like, let's pull up on these fools. We pull up on them. They're like on this side, pumping on this side. So we pull up on this side. Hey, ¿qué barrio? But like they were like, you know, back when you're on the street like that, you got like a sixth sense. They felt it because simultaneously I seen him move. Like someone did some shit like this.
Yeah.
And he went for it and he fucking gave it to my whole shit. I punched it. I don't even know how. Like glass was in my ear, in my mouth, like boom, 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 and I smashed out. Me pasaron 3, otra más critical. Y I just felt like there was a lot of shit going on. But you know, you get addicted.
Yeah.
You get addicted to it. It's like you still wanna do it. So pasa lo que pasa, I end up going on the run.
What year did you go on the run?
That's what I'm saying. I think it was like 2002. I'm not sure. At the end of 2001, 2002.
Early 2000s.
Yeah, early 2000s, like the beginning.
Now, when you took off on the run, did you end up getting in the car?
Nah.
Flying? Talk to me.
I didn't really leave. I was in the area.
Oh, you were in the hood still?
No, not in the hood. Different spots.
Okay.
Moving around.
But you were in the state?
In the States. We moved around, and I don't like this. Came back, and then we're in these apartments.
When you say you don't like this, what do you mean?
I didn't like, cause see us, like our world's little.
Yeah.
We don't like nothing that's not the hood.
Right.
It's not like how I feel now. Right now, I just want to see the world. I don't care about. I care about like.
Well, back then the world's a box somewhere,
yeah,
or the block you live on.
And even though I was, my family was already living in the valley.
Right.
Pero todavía estaba allá, you know. But, like.
It wasn't home.
Yeah, that's my comfort zone. So we come back, but not to the hood, like hiding around, whatever. And then my boy was like, hey, pues, my family over there is like telling us to pull up. There's work for us over there.
Over there, you mean Mexico?
Yeah, there's work. So I'm like, well, fuck it, let's get out of here. How much you got? I remember when I left, I had $3,000 on me.
Okay.
And he had like 6 or 7. And then we left. Ya al último, I remember that night that we crossed. Damn, we weren't even talking. We're just quiet. They crossed us in the car. We're just like,
You're seeing the lights of America leaving. Now you're walking.
Yeah, and it was nighttime. So when you see Mexico, the smell changes. So it's cool. But then we ended up riding a bus, like a Greyhound.
Right.
All the way to Jalisco. So it's like a 36-hour ride.
Wow.
And then so the whole way there, I'm wearing a Dodgers jacket. I'm bald.
You're still banged out.
Yeah, and the bus is empty. There's a little bit of people, the buses are full when they come back up. But that way, and that time when we went, it was like empty. I remember my boy's like 3 rows back on one side. We're not looking at it. We're not even talking. And we're just like, I'm just looking.
What are you thinking?
I'm just like depressed. I don't know I don't want to say suicidal, but
anxiety.
You feel like se te acabó el mundo, basically. Your world's over.
And this is just barely starting for you.
This is day one.
Wow.
Day one, day 1.5 or whatever, 36 hours. Yeah, we get over there and it's a party. We're over there drinking, like, just taking it all in. And then after about a month, it just dies out. We don't have no more money. Shit's like, I don't like this. I used to buy brand new clothes every week to go kick it. Brand new clothes every week, brand new shoes every single week, todo.
Right.
Now my shit's I'm looking dingy. I'm looking like, and over there's dirt. You can't stay clean, even if you want to stay clean. You can't wear white shoes over there, We like crispy white shoes. It ain't happening over there, And then I just fell out of place because I start realizing that my dress code, shit's lame over there. It's shit. Look,
how do they treat you out there when you got there? I mean, it's one thing.
I have family.
It's one thing to go visit over there, but it's another thing to go live over there.
Well, see, that's the thing. When you go over there, they know that Americans come over there. They come. But after some time, if they're like, wait a minute, este güey ya tiene 2 meses aquí, 3 meses aquí. They know. They're like, either este güey está deportado o este güey trae pedos en el otro lado. Y pues, and now you're starting like I'm paranoid as fuck. I'm like anxiety. I can't sleep. I feel like I didn't sleep 15 years the whole time I was there. I mean, I slept.
Yeah, but you never had a good night's sleep.
It's like I would always want to sleep by a window so I could hear, and then just like just get up and y así it started, and then it got to a point where me and my guy we split up. We're like, fool, we're bringing too much attention los dos, way. Let's just split up. And then as soon as something pops off, yo te marco, y ya. And then, but it took like another 6. We would always talk and everything.
Right.
We'll meet up in different spots in Guadalajara, eat, boom, go our own ways again, and shit like that. And then that's when my life started going slow, and I kind of started enjoying. Like for the first time in my life in a long time, my life got slow.
The pace got slowed down.
It felt so fast when I'm here, especially towards the end. It felt so fast.
And that was the culture shock. Right?
Yeah. And then I remember when like we're like, nah, they told us like, hey, así, we can't fuck with you like that. You gotta get rid of that shit. And I remember I had 2 duffel bags. This shit had like, that's what I'm saying, Dodger jackets, all this shit. Like
the Cholote gear, fool.
There was some fucking Mexico Cholos, right? But a Cholo in Mexico is equivalent to a crackhead.
Oh,
they get no respect.
Really? Oh,
And I don't give a fuck if you just got out the feds for 40 years.
Over there, you get deported. You're
nothing.
Bottom of the totem pole.
You're nothing. And if you try to be hard, you're gonna go MIA. You give somebody the wrong look, and I didn't know this. I'm starting to learn. Because my family, they're not into drug traffic.
Right.
They're not in. My boy's family was into all that shit.
Right.
So he's been in it his whole life, Me, I'm starting to like see things, and then So I remember that first day we got rid of all the clothes. I gave it to some fucking unos cholos de Mexico. Estaban peleando in the corner. I remember like
oh, shit.
2 brothers. They were like,
nah,
these are mine, And then we jumped into some fitted clothes for the first time and ever.
You changed your appearance.
Yeah, changed my appearance.
Did you change your name?
Yeah, I had different names, all that. So even it's funny because even when I finally get caught and I hear my name after 15 years, I feel weird. Like, that's not me.
Right.
And even when I go into the county, Conejo, Arby's. Even that felt weird.
We'll get to that. So now you're out there.
I'm out there.
Did you have your daughter at this time?
Nah, I don't have her.
So how many years into your running from the law did your daughter come to play?
Maybe about like 7 or 8.
Okay.
So I'm running now. My life slowed down, right?
Yes.
For like maybe that first year, cause I'm alone. I'm away from everybody. I'm just with my family. I'm getting to know things. You know, I find out that we're Asian. My grandfather's family's Asian. We're finding all these things out. On the other side, on my dad's side, my grandfather was a cristero. Full, you know, like it was the church against the government. I'm finding all these things out, like just randomly, like what?
Right.
Looking through shit and just like I see my
You're getting down to your roots.
Yeah, I see my uncle die of throat cancer. Fucked me up. I didn't know what to do. As a matter of fact, I ran down the street when the car was right outside the door. I ran like 10 blocks to get a taxi. That's how the homie's been dying my whole life, violently.
Right.
But watching my uncle die, like choking on his own blood and all this, it traumatized me, like, because, you know, that's my dad's brother, you know, that's like an extension of my dad in a sense. And it hurt me. That shit fucked me up. Quedé traumado. I remember I was working out early in the morning and I was bumping Audio Slave. That was my shit. Puro, I was just hearing Audio Slave. And that song was playing like a stone. So every time I hear that song, it reminds me of my Tio Chuy.
Okay.
Because there's a line in that song where it says that he was praying to anybody. He was a fucking pagan. Like he just wanted to make it. And my uncle was doing that. Like he was like, you know, they were taking it to fucking, he was going to the hospital, but they were like using herbalists, but it was too late. Like by the time they brung all these like home
remedies and stuff?
Yeah. They homeopathic, is that what it's called? Era muy tarde y it was sad.
Right.
But you know, but there was a lot of like good times, you know, and now being my uncle had ranchos and all that shit, so barbecues in the middle of like nowhere, but I'll still be like, some days se me olvidaba, I'll straight forget that I was a fugitive.
Right.
But then it could be anything, something fucking trigger it, anything, like something will trigger it, and then I'll go on this. Like,
did you ever have any suicidal thoughts back then?
I think I did, because there was a time where I just couldn't take it. I'm like, man, I'm gonna turn myself in. Fuck this. And I seen a gang of fugitives do that.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
They can't take it. They can't adapt.
Pressure, dude. It's crazy.
They can't adapt. And me, I got blessed that my homie, his family knew how to do it. His family was full of fugitives from the feds, from the DEA, crazy fugitive family, and doing it, you know? That's why, like, I feel like I was blessed in a way that I got to be around a lot of self-made people, either legal or illegal.
Right.
I got to see, like, fools that... I remember one time we were over there, right? And we went to this meeting with my boy's family, because we were, like, rolling con un tío de él. We go to this meeting, and this dude rolls up, right? And this is back then. Ahorita they don't roll like that. Pero este way llegan 3 Range Rovers. Boom, boom, boom. They don't caravan like that no more.
Right.
That's like a
fucking
fucking dead giveaway. Y el güey llega, and then he knew about us, but I didn't know who he was. He was from Florence. This fool's major. America's Most Wanted, all this shit.
Oh shit.
He looked like a architect. I didn't know. I didn't know, right? So then, and we're not allowed to talk to him anyways. Who am I? I'm nobody. You're go get this, pick up this type shit.
Just a runner.
Yeah, so then we end up seeing him again. But this time we pull up, this fool got Timberlands on. He's wearing jeans, a long white shirt, and a big ass gold chain. And I could tell he's a homie. Right there I knew he was a homie. Like just different things.
Estilo.
Y el güey, ya al último, que ellos platicaron, se nos arrima y nos dijo, it's going to get easier. Don't trip. You'll be all right. And then that's when we thought, it's the way he's from Florence. And oh, shit. And then he got killed over there, years later. They killed him.
That's what I was going to ask you, because, I mean, I had a lot of homies get deported and go out there, and a lot of them got killed, man.
Yeah,
Did you see a lot of homies get killed, and how did you kind of...
I didn't fuck with no homies. I'll stay away from any homie because there was a lot of informants over there. And then even, yo siento como que si like me convertí mexicano, la neta. Like I took that in. I didn't like it at first because my boy always used to tell me like, hey, Rabbit, what? He's like, fool, this is home. I'll be like, hell nah, this is your home. He's like, nah, fool, this is home. Like, hell nah, chale, güey, no mames, güey.
But you always had that kind of real Mexicano in you because there's a difference. There's a Mexicano, there's a pocho. A lot of the homies that go over there, they're looked at as straight pochos.
They don't fuck with them. It's even harder for... And look, you know what? Yo toda mi vida yo he hablado español. Mi mamá, todos hablan español.
Simón.
Como te regañan.
Even in your raps, all that.
Yeah, I'm Mexican, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
But I get to Mexico and I realize I don't know how to talk Spanish right. I'm over here like explaining myself with hands. I'm over here doing fucking hand, sign language almost and shit. Because it's not matching. It's not good enough to hold a conversation with them without ¿cómo se dice? All that bullshit, you know?
weren't fluent.
I wasn't fluent like that. I was in the hood, like with the homies, like, man, that street.
Right.
That street Mexican
the
Spanish
slang
talk.
and all that stuff.
Esa madre sí, you know? Y but over there no es lo mismo, you know? So they told us, I remember like soon after, okay. So I'm over there. My life's going slow. I'm soul searching.
These are the first couple years.
No, this is the first year. My shit went wild after the first 9 months. It turned up and it went worse than even LA.
Okay.
Allá es otro pedo, like next level shit, you know.
Of course.
So that first year I'm enjoying it. Y un día me entra la llamada de mi boy. Pack your shit. I'll be over there like in 5-6 hours. Ya llegó jale. There's real shit to do.
Let's run it.
So I was like, what is it? And he's like, nah, I ain't gonna tell you on the phone, fool. I'll tell you when I get there. Y ya cuando llegó, that was the plan anyways. You know, when we crossed, that was the plan. We're gonna do this to get enough money to come back and beat this, which was an oxymoron, like really.
Like, we're gonna be with the business over here to
get the money to go back to LA. That's how much we missed LA, you know? Y I was like, all right. So we go, and now I'm starting to being around them. I start like that's why like fools trip out that I only listen to Spanish music now. Cause I'm like, man, listen to that shit.
Come on, you gotta listen to Vicente, Chente.
No, I bump all that shit. Y pues, but that's because now I'm taking it in. I'm starting to like this shit. Like,
right.
But I always, my family,
of course,
fucking always played that. That's party music, barbecue music for my whole family.
Every barbecue, yes.
So, but now it's like, y luego lo de los corridos, it was already started in LA here, you know?
Right.
Because también that's another thing. Andaban un chingo de homies de quebraditas and gorrudos y todo, that's another like segment of LA that was happening too. Like another little movement that the homies were doing it too, even though they were from hoods, but they were over there, El Parral and Rodeo and all that shit,
Right.
So, we're over there, and right before that call, I remember I went to a concert with two of my mom's brothers, right? I had my boots on, cowboy boots,
pinche te puse las botas, güey, todo.
All that shit, dog. That shit, something.
Straight up.
Hell yeah, that's something.
That's right.
So I'm over there. We went to see Valentín Elizalde, La Banda Limón. We seen like 3 like major that they were popping right there.
Right.
So I'm drinking with my uncles because that again, they're like an extension of my mom. There's my mom's brothers, So I feel good. And plus my uncle, the one that I'm with, man, he always loved us. This dude would take us in his van skating sometimes. He would take us hiking over here in Griffith Park. He would take us to Magic Mountain deep. No money. He would pay for everybody. He's the richest brother of all the brothers. So he always like we even though when he'll get mad, he'll fuck us all up. Put everybody on their knees. Extension cord, fuck everybody up.
Vámonos, cabrones.
Pero we love them. I still love them. Like,
right.
And when we're over there, we're drinking. And I remember he told me, he's like kind of pulled me to the side. He's like, hey, acá. Basically told me, you're going to have to mind somebody over here.
Yeah.
Acá. He told me, what was the word he used? He said something to the extent, acá sí son valientes. It's otro, like he explained to me, it's going to be different. And I was drunk. I was like, yeah, tío, yo sé. But I didn't know. I told him, yeah, yo sé. I know everything, but I didn't know shit.
Aquí
really.
te quebran, güey.
Then I get the call. Then all this other shit starts happening, and I'm hearing about, DEA informants and FBI informants, and this fool's, Y que este güey es compadres con los colombianos. All this shit starting to happen around me. And, but it still doesn't, I'm around it, but I'm not like caring that much. I'm just like, I'm even feeling like out of place. I'm out of my comfort zone. I don't feel like I'm in.
Right.
Because they still looked at us like, man, pinches malandros, just pinches cholos, pinches, give these fools $100 or some shit. Tell them to go fucking, like, cause.
They didn't see you guys as serious shit.
Not yet. And then, more shit happened. Then we end up in TJ because this lady, some boss lady, right? She's like, after some shit, she was like, I nothing but little mansions over there. So she's like, pick one. That's you guys.
Just like that.
You guys pick one, and that's you. Make sure you just take care of it, and that's what we did. So I like the TJ better porque así people could come. We're close. TJ's more like the U.S. in a sense, porque todos hablan English, and te puedes mover más. But we're fucking up by doing that.
You're close.
Because where we're living and where we're at, that area was even pure rich people, políticos, people with bodyguards. Our neighborhood, el consulado americano, all these things are going on, right? And on top of that, now there's surveillance going on. Well, we don't see it. We're blind to it. I don't know about it like that, but it's going on. These fools like, and even the U.S. is over there, but the U.S. can't let themselves be known, but they're there.
Of course.
But there is more like intelligence. And then they tell like the Mexicans like, hey, this is there. Make it happen. Bring them. Shit like that's happening. So.
And they're trying to figure out who you guys are.
I mean, it kind of got to that. So on the reset, there's a song called 15 Years. When I dropped the reset, I tell a story. De que un día, okay, we're in the pad, right? Y enfrente de la casa había un sign enfrente que decía venta o renta, but it was bullshit. That shit wasn't for sale or rent. It wasn't.
Right,
but so one day they timbran el portón, se prenden todas las cameras, all the screens turn on in the house. By the kitchen, there was a gang of screens. They all turn on. Anything gets close to the door, they all go off.
Oh shit.
So we're like, sí, ¿qué pasó? And there was a dude, he's kind of similar to you, like stocky, military-ish vibes, like acá. And then he's like, hey, sí, queremos hablar con el dueño de la casa. And we're like, no, acá no vive el dueño de la casa. Oh, pues podemos hablar con alguien. But he looked normal. Right. This is the fucking La PGR. La PGR was because they disbanded them and now they're called La FGR.
They did, right? Yes.
Because they were corrupt, right? So that's them. That's them at the door, right? So everybody's like, you go. No, you go. Nobody wanted to go. We're 3 fugitives living in this house.
Shit. That could be a series right there.
So yo voy a la puerta, right? Pero cuando ya abro la puerta, ya están en el carro. Y están en un Chevy Malibu. Y en esos días, I didn't even think. Todos los judiciales, ministeriales, o los güeyes de la PGR traían them Chevy Malibus. So they call me to the car and I still walk up to the car. And I walk up to them and they start interrogating me like, hey, ¿de quién es la casa? But like rude. And there was a female, 3 dudes like and aggressive. A female. Aggressive. And the female was the aggressive one, like barking at me and, ¿cómo que no sabes? No, es que nosotros rentamos la casa for the summer, like por el verano, estamos nomás aquí. Oh, sí? And like not believing a word I'm saying, you know? Y eso? And what's up with that? And like, they just, and they just peel out in front of me. Boom, se van. Y me quedo así, and these fools watched it on the cameras. They're like, what the fuck was that? Right. The fools just peeled out, man. Estaban hablando. So 2 weeks later, llega mi boy de la auction con un carro que compró en la auction. Shit, the airbag's gone, so no got no horn, no nothing, right? So we wouldn't come out at times. We had quads. La noche salíamos, íbamos a unas hills, o sea, los T-Mobile se veían de allí. Pero ya traemos Boost Mobiles and Nextels. So, entonces, cuando llega mi compa, we had ordered a pizza, I remember. Some shit called, what was that pizza we would always get? Right there by, that other one. It's the main one in TJ. So, whatever. So, we're like, préstanos el carro, güey. We ordered a pizza. We'd rather just go pick it up. And he's like, oh, here's $20. Esta man no trae nada de gas. It's under the E. All right. So nos subimos, and we lived in a cul-de-sac, like a double cul-de-sac. Like there's a park in the middle, así, okay. 2 little dead ends, right? And the dead ends connect at the end too. Salimos, when we hit the stop sign, we made a right, and I was like, my boy was driving, y we looked at each other like, what the fuck was that? Because either it was a big ass lens, or it was binoculars, but we seen it. It was big. I don't know if it was, but todavía no saben, no, you know. So we're like, ay, güey, ahí vienen. Boom, they get behind us. Una Ford Explorer del año. Whatever that year was, it was a brand new one. It starts following us, and chinga empiezo a marcar. Yo le marco one of my other boys, well, the other one. And then he wasn't there. He was with his cousin. His cousin was this major fool. También wanted by the feds and the DEA.
Shit.
Okay, this trip, I'm going to rewind a little bit.
Yeah,
Tell you
let's do
about
it.
this dude. This dude, he gets caught in New York, right? With a gang of birds, right? So they had him. They finally gave him bail. This fool bones out y le cortan todas las fingerprints and they sew him back on upside down.
What?
Yeah. Well, one hand at a time because you need one to you got to go to the bathroom, you got to do your thing. So una y luego la otra. This fool goes right back to, now he sets up shop in Chicago doing it. But now he lets his hair go long, his beard's out. He looked like Middle Eastern almost. Está bien blanco, pale white. Y este way, he ends up getting cracked in Chicago and he has no bail because they're running him and the system says error. They don't know who he is. They don't know who he is. They finally gave him bail. That fool rolls out over there. So we're with him over there, you know? So my boy's with him, es su primo. Y so empezó a marcar. Hey, we got tail. What? Yeah, how you know? Pues esta madre making a right, they make a right. I took Prime over there. I took Prime and I took him on the whole little route just to show him. Y nos están persiguiendo and they're like, we on our way. So el plan era que iban a venir, iban a bloquearlos para que no, so that we could smash out.
Right.
Y yo era el que I kind of knew the streets because I was already more low-key. I already had the comb over. It was bigger. Comb over, the glasses. I was already nerdy looking. So at night, I would go and get food. And I wanted to go. I needed to get out. I was even though you're in a mansion, swimming pool, jacuzzi. We had Cali Kings. Everybody had a Cali King bed. PlayStation all fucking day long. Like,
La jaula de oro.
Y era una jaula de oro, la neta, exactamente lo que era. Y entonces, pues, I needed oxygen, you know, and I needed to be around people, even if it was every so often, you know. And then, so I would go through streets. Oh, let me see, ¿dónde salgo? Si me voy por esto, ¿dónde salgo? So they're following us, and there was a park where we'd play basketball all the time. We'll go low-key, play basketball, come back. So we're going, and el que iba manejando is like, man, I'm gonna punch it. No, güey, aguanta. Wait till these fools to show up. Nah, fool, just punch it. No me quería hacer caso el güey. There's a famous newspaper in TJ, se llama El Zeta. This shit was like La Alarma. Fools, they snitching on fools chopped up. This newspaper, when you would read it, it's like a movie every week. Wow. You're like, how the fuck they get this info? It's gotta be someone on the inside giving them, because there would be details and details. I ended up coming out when I got arrested. I came out in La Zeta. And so right by there, right around there, they're watching us. I'm on 4 cell phones. They're seeing me. They know way he's calling for backup. So entonces, long story short, way he punches it. Yo marco para la casa y le digo aquí a mi boy, hey, saca todos los fierros. Ponte un bulletproof vest, saca todos los otros bulletproof vests.
We're going to war.
Yeah, we're going to go to war. Because in those days, like, it happens so fast that you might think, fool, he's putting too much on it. But when you're in that situation, no hayas la salida. What was I going to do? Fucking drive around TJ for 5 hours? Backup was going to come eventually.
Of course.
You know, so we're going. Abre el garage, güey. You know, bring everything out and be right there ready so that we could crash in y tú sales para afuera y te da recio mientras que we suit up. Y but we're too close to the pad, so cuando ya veníamos, garage estaba cerrado todavía. It's like we're 40 seconds away from the pad, 50 seconds, right. Maybe a minute and a half, I don't know, but it was fast. Cuando miramos que está cerrado esa madre turns into a high-speed chase. Now it's Grand Theft Auto. Sidewalks, crashing cars out of the way. This is like las 4 de la tarde, 5 de la tarde. You know, y I'm on the phone. Hey, hurry up. Vamos como por atrás del casino, the big one in TJ, se llama Caliente. Vamos como por atrás. And I'm looking, this fool's driving, I'm looking. All of a sudden I get down. Why are you getting down? I'm like, man, because they came out the window with a big ass rifle and the scope was like that big. So ese way he's out the window and I'm like, oh, and I'm telling him like, hey, wait, we got to split up because pues the tip on that shit is gonna be like that big. Somebody's gonna go through the car. He's gonna blow limbs off. We need to
Right.
we need to go. No way, aguanta. Let's just fuck it. Let's just turn ourselves in. Y yo pues, no quería yo. No sé por qué, pero yo no quería. Y finally, this fool pulls over, right? Pero they don't pull up right behind us. They stop a little bit back. Ya se oyen. I can hear cop cars coming. I can hear them. But so where we stop, enfrente, allá en todos los bancos o todas las casas de cambios,
yes.
No en todas, pero siempre está un estatal, un federal. There's always an arm
some kind of security up there.
In the front. So when these fools jump out on us, they're like kind of like tactical. They go like they flank us like ese way he thinks it's like a holdup. So he tells them to stand down, and they're like, no, you stand down. And they're both showing each other badges. They're like, no, tú.
They don't trust each other over there.
So when that happened, we end up punching it, and we got away. We end up getting away. And we made like 30 car accidents because 2 days later, they cracked my boy, the driver, trying to cross into the U.S. They raided him at the border. Right when he was gonna, like 2 cars to cross, boom, the feds got him.
For him.
And it's crazy because cuando lo agarraron, okay, cuando él se fue, so dijo, vinieron por el carro como a los 2 days. This story is super long. There's a whole missing part that, man, we could go on for hours, but I'm just...
They can hear it on your podcast.
Yeah, they can hear it on Inside a Sinister Mind.
That's right.
So entonces, él se va y como a la hora y media, the next tail goes off. It goes off, and I just hear, get out of the house, the feds. Los feos. Soy un desmadre. So that shit sounded like, that shit was we're at fucking Bad Bunny's concert. That shit was loud as fuck. Esa madre was loud because no one's in the house. It's just us, and we're in the kitchen looking at the cameras. Like todos paniqueados.
You guys stayed in Tijuana all that time?
Yeah, back and forth. Jalisco, Tijuana.
Was that what you guys were doing?
Yeah, moving around.
How corrupt was the police out there in Tijuana? I mean, they still are, but how was it back then?
I still hadn't like found out how they were that bad until later. Okay. Whatever. We get out, we get away, we end up on the east side of TJ, Mariano Matamoros. It went on. So later, right now, you ask about police corruption. I'm gonna tell you a little experience que tuvimos un día. So entonces, okay, el primo, okay, you know el primo de las fingerprints, tenía otro primo. We're gonna call this dude, I'm gonna give him a code name.
Okay.
His only job, he would go to Chicago, fly to Chicago, and drive back a car with secret compartments full of money. That was his job. So he would go, stay for like 2 or 3 months while they collected everything. Ya lo armaban el carro y él se venía y lo entregaban a border y de ahí se lo llevaban whatever. They'll put it on a semi or they'll put the different ways. O repartían dinero. Different shit would happen. So that was his job, right? Had built this house. This house, they built it in the 80s. It was major. All he fucked with was weed. Pulling semis into the property. So he built it like that. Big ass walls. The driveway was huge. If you see the pad, you like, this is like an old school dope dealer house. Like it's just like las fachadas está todo bien viejo, you know, but it's a badass property. And it was on the east side of TJ. And like 2 blocks, and as a matter of fact, that street, his street was dirt still. And if you go like a block, you go down and make a right, that's where everybody throws their trash and sets the shit on fire. That's the dumpster. So there's always smoke and people burning their trash, right? So gone. So el way that takes care of the pad, he's our boy too. So we're like, hey, yeah, fuck yeah, just pay me. So we're doing our shit out of there, right? So one room is where you keep it, one room is where you cut, and one room is where you wrap. Drive is where you load.
The whole production, the assembly line.
Yeah, assembly line. So un día este güey me marca como las 3. He was blowing everybody up, but I'm the only one que contestó. Hey, he's on his way. He's already halfway across the U.S. He'll be here. Come and get all your shit out of here. Clean up. There was only mess. There wasn't stuff there. There was just the mess that we left. So entonces, ahí vamos, pinche fabuloso, incense, cloro. We clean this whole shit up. So that, you know, and we load everything up. And I had a Chevy Malibu, but it wasn't in my name because You know, we were just doing shit like that. Lo
course.
tenía el nombre de otro de mi boy. He wasn't there. Y so we load up and we end up, it's me, my boy, and this dude that was a professional handball player. This fool was crazy. His brother was an ex-player de las Chivas.
Right.
And he was retired, but all they did was play handball games, $5,000 games.
Shit.
Crazy. And over there, las canchas, they're huge. They're over here, you know.
I didn't know handball was that big over there.
Big.
Really?
Se llama Frontón.
Frontón?
Yeah.
Okay.
Y entonces, this fool, es más, I want to say his name, but I don't want to say it. But
He was-
it was like some.
He was the Jordan of handball, homeboy.
His brother was el
Really?
ex güey de las Chivas. But este güey también. This fool run miles every morning. Y we took him to help us clean because we had a little crew de puros.
Okay.
So we took that fool. And then, so we ended up, de puro shake y rip packages, eran 3 black trash bags, big ones. The whole trunk was pinches triple beams, grease, the wrapping, the machine that sucks the air out the bags, everything, the tape, the duct tape, everything that you would need for an operation, right?
Right.
So when we come out, the plan is like, hey, wait, I'm gonna do a drive-by, you throw the bags out y nos vamos, way. So while we're in there, I'm like, throw them out. He's like, nah, not right here, my boy. Y I'm like, nah, throw them out. We're arguing right there in the dump yard. Throw them out. No way. Más para allá, go deeper. I'm like, no way, throw those shits out. And that little arguing, here come the cops, a truck of the cops. So entonces, estos güeyes, they see us, they threw a U-turn, they threw the lights, they pulled us over. So I'm driving, right? And then they're like, ¿de quién es el carro? Like, no sé. I just kept saying, no sé. ¿Cómo que no sabes? Nah, pues no sé. Okay, salte del carro, por favor. And we all have, everybody got to see. Right now, if you were to have an ID or license in TJ,
Yeah.
man, you're in trouble.
Really?
Yeah, because it wasn't like that back then. Right there, it was just TJ. Anybody from anywhere, it could be a problem, you know?
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying that I was with the people, but I'm just,
That's
you
just how
know,
it
this
is,
was my
right.
friends, you know? My little crew that I was fucking with at that time. Y so entonces nos empiezan a interrogar, salte del carro. I'm like, oh man. So they open the trunk, right? And everything was wrapped up in bags too. So when he rips the bags, he's like, ¿qué es eso? It was 2 triple beams, one on top of the other one. Y le hago, la neta no sé. ¿Cómo que no sabes? No sé. He rips another one, and we had those big ass butcher knives because that's how you cut them. Because
Okay.
los blocks tan thick así, so you need those real sharp butcher knives. Y ¿qué es eso? I kept saying, no sé, they're están rompiendo todas las bolsas, and it's everything. Everything, right? So entonces, now they got my boy out. Now my boy is handcuffed to me. We're handcuffed like this, like side by side. And the dude, the handball player, he's telling me, I'm gonna run. And if he would have ran, they would have never caught him because that fool ran like 6-7 miles every morning. Wake up and run like 6-7 miles. This fool had crazy wind. That fool.
He would have been gone.
He would have been gone. So I'm like, no. He's like, I'm gone. And we're like, you know, like, y so then they're like, ¿y esas bolsas qué? Because my boy was in the back with the 3 bags. The runner is riding shotgun with me. So when they go to the one bag and they're like, they rip it, esa madre es como cornflakes, sale un chingo de shake. And right when he said that, he told the other one, tenemos un 549 A, B, C, D, whatever the fuck, some kind of code. And he's like, ya valieron verga. And we're like, damn. And then he tells us, ¿pa quién trabajan? And we're like, no, pa nadie. Díganme pa quién trabajan. But then they started acting scary. They were like, díganos, pa quién trabajan. So we caught it. So we're like, oh, these fools are scared too. So we're no. He's like, ¿quién? Nadie. No, ¿quién? Nadie. We just kept denying shit. Y entonces we tell him, okay, si nos da como un minuto para hablar. So they let us huddle up, and we're like, everybody take everything you got out right now. So I had like $300 just because I was asleep when this whole shit, we're asleep. This fool called 3-4 in the morning. By the time que agarré todos los products, pinches trapeadores, escobas, by the time we get there 6, by the time, you know, right now it's like around 10, 11.
In the morning.
You know, so he's like, can we huddle up? Is that cool? Give us a minute. So we huddle up. My boy had like $700, but like, you know, we had 10s and 20s and 5s. Aquel güey traía like en pesos. So it would look like this, but it was only really like $1,100. But it was like this. It was like a wad, right? Y le dijimos, hey, oiga, denos chance, nos podemos arreglar. And that fool's like, pues, ¿cuánto traen? And we showed it to him, pues, traigo esto. ¿Se puede? That fool snatched it, took my handcuffs off, váyanse a la verga. And that fool sped out. We start throwing everything out, and we just got out of there.
And that was your education on the corruption over there.
We got lucky because it could have went
pretty
totally wrong. And I seen people that happened to people, and they never came back.
They could have gone south.
I have boys that happened to, and that they never came back. Y that was just a little.
So you were doing that throughout the whole time you were out there in Mexico?
I was just surviving, honestly. I don't know. I was doing music too, and I had to eat.
How were you doing music through all this madness?
Okay, look. I remember one time I was stressed the fuck out, and I opened up the yellow pages in Mexico, in Guadalajara. I seen studios, and I called one, and they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, I want to buy some hours. All right, I go. I grabo 2 songs. These are like top secret. No one's heard these songs. I like let it all out right here. Like everything. I just let it out, how I was feeling and everything.
Was that therapy for you?
Studio, I think for me, my life, I think music's always been like the only thing that, like, cause I'll hit like rock bottom, basically. Y la música is always like, even from when I was in LA. Cause al último I was over here like getting high, smoking primos. Y, and the hood it got flooded with carga and we get caught up in all these things but the music always me like, so when I recorded those ones, I was like, it lit that fuse one more time, but I didn't get to record for a long time. So I'm in TJ. There's this swap meet in TJ, se llama Las Cinco Ideas. Whoever's watching this, you guys already know, it's underground. You go these stairs and it's under the whole, it's a big ass indoor fucking subterranean swap meet.
Subterranean.
Yeah, so it's like
sótano.
Yeah, un pinche, so it's huge, right? So again, man, I want to let's go out, man. I need to be around some people. I need to breathe. I need to like
kind of get normalized a little bit.
Yeah, so, and it's crazy because when we were right there, a cop stopped us in there and it was like, a ver, vengan pa acá. ¿A qué se dedican? That's the first line always, ¿a qué se dedican? And my hands, I got calluses for, I've always been working from just construction and shit.
Just working.
So he touches my boys, he says, eso es en la construcción. And that fool touched his hands and he's like, what, drywall? Like, what the fuck? Like, what kind of construction?
Right.
He touches my shit, he's like, this fool got, este güey trae pinches calluses en las manos. Y yeah, but it was like a cheap cop.
Random shit, huh?
Yeah, un municipal, like, out of shape, fat fool, whatever. And then I seen un poster de un rapper that I had met online. This when AOL was around. But it said Mexican, like a TJ rap group. And then the dude, okay, there was a shop, right?
Right.
Where this poster was at, where they had like, it was like the homie, el puesto de los homies, donde tenían pinches que Ben Davis y que la verga y que.
That's what they would have shopped.
They had the Psycho Realm poster right there and all this shit, right? Y me dicen, ¿qué? ¿Lo conoces? Le hago, nah, pero se me hace parecido. ¿Quién es? Es mi compa el Virus. I'm like, yeah, yo lo conozco, pero no lo conozco en persona. ¿Quieres que le marque? Márcale. I called this fool. He wasn't there, he didn't answer. They gave me a number, I called him some other day. He's like, cállate para studio. So I show up to Otay, by the airport, to a badass pad. I walk in, shit's hooked up. And they have a studio in it, a real studio, not little computer. This is a real studio.
A real studio.
Inside of a house. So, but when I knock on the door, they open the door, y sale el Cynic, the street platoon.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, what the f? El güey también, he was like taken back a little bit, like, man, you good, dog? Like, everybody están hablando de ti allá. Everybody's like, like worried or not worried, but he was just like, your name's like ringing bells and, you good? I'm like, yeah, bien pinche señorito, like fucking, fitted.
Señorito.
Fitted. I had some Timbers. I remember I had some Timberlands and,
yeah, of course.
And my glasses and a little sweater, like zipped up, like, some cool shit. Yeah, I get in there, and then the fool's like, look, do you think this beat's cool? Yeah. Okay, well, meet me next week. We go to el studio Los Tucanes de Tijuana. They gave them that studio, but they ended up repoing it, like the people from TJ.
Okay.
Because they started singing for other people.
Yes.
So, but nevertheless, I was like, okay, this is dope. I'm in the pinche studio Los Tucanes, cool. I recorded a verse for this dude, and that really set it off. So before that, I was write raps, even though I was writing raps, you know. Before all that, when I was still at the mansion,
Right.
and when I went to that studio, I was already living on the east side of like all this other shit that happened. That whole chase, I was already living over here. But before that, when I was in the mansion, un día el Ernie G me manda un CD, it gets to me, a CD with beats, 15 beats on it. And that became the song The Devil's Inside and Do You Know Who We Are? Those two songs, I wrote those together and those two beats were on there. But I didn't get a chance to record, so here I go again, Yellow Pages, no Google, no none of that shit. Busco, marco, me contesta un güey, and I could tell que es de Sudamérica. Y le digo al güey, hey, ¿tú de dónde eres? Soy chileno. These guys became my boys. They ended up becoming like, I fuck with them to this day.
That's what's up.
And it was crazy because, so I go record, right? No, I go to the studio. I go, well, I need to go check it out. ¿Tienes Pro Tools? ¿Tienes todo? Simón, vente. They have a closet de puros mics. To me, I was in heaven. I was like, oh shit, Neumann's, Sennheiser's, like mics.
And when you get to pick your mic right there or something?
Nah, yeah, if you know your mics, if you know, they ain't gonna tell you. But if you know your shit, you can be like, hey, sácate el pinche Sennheiser pa' acá.
That's what's up.
But they were like scared of me. They thought I was gonna steal some shit. They're watching me, and they let me know that there's a camera in the mic room, and there was a little camera in the corner. They were kind of like iffy with me, right? So I started recording. This became Revenge Serve Code, the album Revenge Serve Code. I started piecing it together. And then one day the dude was like, el chileno, you know, like they eat different. Like Argentinos, I like Argentinos, they eat big ass steaks with bread. Right. Chilenos are stored like that, but this dude I thought he was just poor because he was like, okay, look, one day el way, he tells me, my name was Ángel, right? So he's like, Ángel, ¿tú piensas que me puedes prestar $500? I'm like, ¿pa qué? And he's like, es que quiero comprar un aparato pa yo poder, he was working at the studio, but I want to get my own shit so I could start selling music because he had just got married and brought his wife from Chile. And he's like, so that I could start making some side money, make a little bit more. And I told him, you know what? ¿Y cuánto te sale eso? Me sale como 1,500. No hay pedo, yo te lo compro. Te lo compro todo, pero tú me haces el paro con beats, custom made shit. Y te voy a pagar todavía por los beats, pero me haces un descuento. Oh, fuck yeah, Ángel, come. Man, you know what? Then he calls me, he's like, he gets the shit, whatever, and he calls me one day. Hey, his wife,
okay.
She's like, hey, yo, we want to invite you over for dinner, right? And this couple, they're Christians, they're son cristianos, like, but they're not like annoying. Right. They're like open-minded, because I would just fuck with them all day, but what about aliens and all this shit, you know? And I'll be like, and then you know, like I was already watching YouTube and like, hey, pero aquí dice que you know, God is really plural.
You're going against the grain with them.
Yeah, Elohim, and I'm like bringing all this shit up, and you know, and these dudes that, you know, they knew their shit, right? And he was chill. He never pressed me or nothing. So I go to eat with them, right? And they're like, yeah, spaghetti, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll fuck that shit up. And that shit comes and it's like noodles with like pieces of tomato. I'm like, well, fuck's the meat? So I thought they were poor. I was like, man, I started being pobres, you know? Me agüité, you know, I ate it, you know, because they did it from their heart, you know? So, and then, all right, hey, gracias, ya me tengo que ir, because we had our operation going on. So we would work from night to the morning. Like not all night, but that's our operation work.
That was a hustle.
So I had to leave. So he's like, no, espérate, antes de que te vayas, we want to pray for you. And I was like, what? We want to pray for you. And I'm like, all right, fuck it. So we kind of like huddled up, like some football shit like this. And they start praying. And like some weird shit happened to me. Like my heart got warm and se me empezaron a salir las lágrimas. Wow. And like some energy went inside my body. Some spiritual, I had like a spiritual
awakening.
Something happened, right? Y me saqué de onda and they're blowing me up. My boy's like, hey, wait, get the fuck over here. You're already late. So I didn't want que me miraran, que my eyes were red, que I was like over here emotional and shit. So we rent un hotel para bañarme. I get a hotel so I could take a shower. I'm over here, I go to a pharmacy, I get drops. I'm like, do I look right? Because you know, when you get emotional, even your nose gets red.
You get a little puffy.
So I'm like, I'm over here, ahorita ya voy. Just start a little bit, I'm on my way. And they became like my friends, like real friends. And when I was over there, you know, like we had this church, right? Now this fast forward. Now I have a daughter, and my mom, she's crazy Christian, you know. She's not annoying, but she's Christian, like that. And you know, for some reason, I would hear my mom. I could hear her voice be like, "Hey," because see, when she was born, la mamá nos separamos y yo me quedé con la niña. So I was riding dirty with my baby.
Right.
So I could hear my mom's voice saying, "Hey, lleva esa niña a la iglesia. You guys need God." So I was like my uncle. I was pagan as fuck. I got into all kinds of shit. I was reading and studying, and I was just like, it was almost like if my house was my cell. Because I no salía, y ahí full-blown gym, un room para puro PlayStation, otro un studio, her room, my room. I had like a 4-bedroom condo by this time. Yeah, I already had bought my shit. I would sit in this church, do all my texts, everything from the church, you know? Y a veces it was weird because I feel like the pastor was talking to me. I'd be like, oh shit, the fuck, this fool, like, este güey me está hablando, like, what, like that's what, God or the gods are like sending me messages. And I used to like going there, you know? But I liked it because my daughter, and then like Christians, they don't have like baptisms. They do some shit on they presentan un baby. So, but see, this church was fucking high tech. This shit was like a Bad Bunny concert. This shit had major fucking screens, live band, lasers.
It was popping.
And it was online, and it was fucking streaming online. So that's why I would sit. I never sat with the people.
Yeah.
And then when they would do the camera would turn, I'd do some shit like, so I was on it, you know? So un día voy, and that shit's happening. They're like the Christian version of baptizing kids, right? So they're like, hey, Angel, you should go do this. And I'm like, but it's online. And I'm like, oh, and you can't do it? And she's like, yeah, we'll do it for you. And they baptized my daughter for me. Gave me a little certificate and everything, you know? So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, my journey in Mexico wasn't all gangster shit.
Right.
It was real life shit. You know, like, I went through a lot of, like, real life situations where, like, human situations. You know, this ain't no cartel movie.
Right.
It has elements de todo. This journey tiene elementos de todo. De struggle, de hambre, de miedo, anxiety. You know, I'm with the little girl and I'm like worried about all kinds of shit. And now, see, before she came, I got myself in all kinds of trouble. That trouble, don't forget. Ahí está. Now I have a daughter and now I'm concerned because at first, well, you know, we're concerned for our loved ones, especially when the kids come into the picture. Unless you're a fucking scumbag, you don't give a fuck about your kids.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? But you know, she came into my life. I have her. We're riding dirty. That the thing in the diaper bag sometimes not. You know. You
don't know from one day to another if you're gonna get killed. The cops are gonna come break your door down.
Yeah. I see. 15 years of that shit like that.
How do you deal with that as a father? Did she know at any point of this?
She's fucking girly as fuck. La chiquita que tengo ahorita, my daughter Scarlett, is fucking bossy. No, she's different. Her, she didn't know because I had her in private school since she was 3 years old.
Okay.
Swimming class, dance class, piano class.
Over there.
Oh,
okay.
So I was just like maneuvering, sneaking to these places. So you know, like sometimes we couldn't go because over there's random checkpoints here, random checkpoints there. It might be the military. It might be the ones que yo les sacaba la vuelta a los estatales because those are the ones that really looking for fugitives.
Right.
So that was it.
So now let's get into the point where your whole world comes crashing down when you finally get arrested. How did that come about?
Okay. By now, I'm on a fucking...
How many years has this been?
Now it's like 14 and some change.
Wow.
You know, and now I'm accepting it like, fuck it, this is me. I'm cool. I'm living better than I lived in the US. I got my own pad. I got several cars. I got money. I got my bills paid off. My daughter's in private school. It's fucked up, but nothing's perfect in this world, you know, and some people have it worse than me. There's fugitives that are fucking broke as fuck.
Yes.
I seen homies that go over there and they still want to be homies as fugitives.
Yeah.
Bald-headed, head tattoos, like
that
shit don't work over there. That shit don't work. And I always mention this because I've seen it in the comments and or fools me mandan screenshots que some fool said that you were over there fucking, you wouldn't give nobody eye contact, that you would look down. And I'll be like, yeah, bitch, I was a fucking fugitive. What the fuck I'm gonna be like looking at people? And I mean, I'll like, if I seen you, I'll probably look, but you know, I won't make no eye contact with you.
You don't want to sit there and have a conversation. I don't want to.
Nah.
Right.
You don't do that. Or that fool's over there fucking dressing like a lame or some shit. I'm like, what the fuck?
Just pendejos, güey.
You know, like puras pinches mamadas like that, you know, but they don't know what it's like.
Yeah, they have no clue.
And all the fugitives that I met that are long run fugitives, low key as fuck.
Yeah, you got to be.
And I met I'm not gonna say I met thousands, but I met at least a good 20. And that's what I'm saying. I was blessed to like have the opportunity to be around these self-made people. Man, they give you hope, because it's like, look, this fool owns like 5 taxis, a fucking restaurant. He does shit on the side. He's living well. Like, you would never think, unless, you know, and I met some in the county. Once I came, there was fools that would bring him back, right. And we would all share stories, and it would be the same. Like, man, I was in Vallarta all the time on vacation. Like me, I've recorded albums in Vallarta, in Cabo, in Puerto Peñasco, and I would
to Mexico.
I would do this shit. Y me llevaba a little studio, little backpack, portable. I'll record anywhere. Like, she would go with me. I would take her. Like, man, we're gonna go here for like 10 days. You know, save my little money, go record. Like record and then just vacate the rest.
How old was she when they finally all came crashing down?
How old were you, Kay? You were like 7 or 8 when they got me?
Yeah.
You were like 8, right?
9. I'm about to be 9.
Were you?
Remember any of that?
Yeah.
She was in school. Because I by that time, yeah, we're like half and half, yo y la mom.
Okay.
So el lunes la llevé a la escuela y me agarraron un martes. Y but see, even before that, it was tough, because I started seeing my wife, who became my wife.
Okay.
And she started coming to see, and it was crazy, because un día le marqué, right? I Googled her. This is the crazy part. I Googled her. Like, it was weird. I was in.
She was in the States at the time?
She was in the States.
Okay.
I was in Sonora, and for some reason I was in a vacation spot in Sonora, and I was just thinking, oh man, I wonder whatever happened to her, because I was dating her before I went on the run. And I was just thinking about her, not knowing that she had just been right there in the same spot like a month before. Because now that I know, we go with her uncle has fucking a location over there where you in Sonora, Puerto Peñasco, right? And then so I get back from Puerto Peñasco one time, y le marco a su office, because her number was on there. Le marco, and I was like, hey. And then for one of her workers made me call back. And when I called back, they're like, well, what name should I tell her? I just tell her it's an old friend. From where? What? Just tell her the code name is the Big House, because she went to see me one time in the mansion.
Okay.
Like 3 times. So I told her, tell her the Big House. Or some code
like that.
And then so when I called her, le dije, hey. And then she's like, hey. And I'm like, don't say names or nothing. This is me. Okay. And she's like, I don't care where you're at in the world right now. I'm going to jump on a plane. I'm there. Where you at? And both motherfucker fell in love.
You guys had that connection, huh?
Hell yeah. Next fucking 3-4 days later, she was there. And she was like, what? I thought you were in China. You're right here? What the fuck? I would have been coming.
You were hiding in plain sight. Huh?
Hiding in plain sight. A veces I'll go underground. You got to maneuver. It's strategic, you know? It's sometimes like Sun Tzu Art of War type shit, you know? And like shit will come in waves. A veces... See, look, right before they got me, I was fucking up. Cuando ya andaba todo enamorado, going on vacation, I would never show my arm, the HPS. My hair started getting shorter. You know, and I was just like...
You're getting comfortable.
I was getting comfortable, and you know, I was in love, and she was like, man, you know what? That's it. We're going to get a lawyer. You're coming back. I'm bringing your ass back. And I was getting everything ready, but I hadn't told her, and it was fucking me up. Andaba todo... I was in love, but I didn't want to get separated from her.
Of course not.
You know, because I knew I was going to have to go to the county. There's no telling how long I was going to stay there fighting it. And there's no telling that I was going to even come out.
Yeah.
There's no telling, you know.
You could have been doing life in prison.
So I was just distraught, la neta. I was like kind of torn apart. And I remember the last day that I was with her in over there in TJ was a Sunday night, right? Well, I was with her Monday morning when I took her to school. But Sunday night, I was in the room and I was all fucked up. I felt like I was lying to her. Like, I wanted to tell her, but I didn't know how to. I would tell her,
and
like,
she's a little girl at this
she's
time.
a little girl.
But you're still feeling that.
Yeah, I'm like, she's whatever 8 or whatever. She was 7, 8, 9, whatever. And then she was in her room Cause she would always sleep in my room. She's a daddy's little girl. Siempre llegaba y se dormía en mi cama, you know. But even though she had her own room, but in these days, she was coming into her like, oh, this is like my little princess room. I'm liking this shit. And then she came from her room to my room, and she gave me a kiss. She's like, Daddy, I love you. Okay, good night. Vete a dormir. So she went back to her room. Like 30 seconds later, she kept doing that like 4 or 5 times, and that made me more guilty. I'm like, damn, what que chingados voy a hacer, you know? I take her to school. They were already on me. They had been watching me, following me, everything. They were drone,
how long were they
aerial
following you
pictures. The U.S. 2 months, and then they gave the info to. It's because they were trying to catch me doing some other shit, but I was.
Oh, is that what it was?
I was on cruise control. I wasn't doing nothing. I was just the music, and I had my little businesses over there already, like generating. They were generating, so I was good. I wasn't balling, but I was good. I could get anything, buy anything she wanted, anything for either of us at any time.
You were living the American dream, but in Tijuana.
Yeah, y so entonces that Tuesday, they got me right there. I went to throw the trash because I lived in a gated community on a gated street, and the trash is outside the gated street. You buzz it and you go out, you throw in the little dumpster, put the lock on it. And when I came out, I was watching them because I had cameras, the whole shit. I had cameras everywhere, and I was seeing them, and I was like, man, fucking, there's been cars parked on that same spot. I was on everything. You start like, it's because mathematical. Everything starts adding up. Everything. That's how it is.
You're living on paranoid status all these years.
So I think it's them. I'm bullshitting, wasting time, and I'm like, man, I'm tripping. Te estoy ondeando. No es nada. Let me just go. When I come out the gate, I throw the bag. I was gonna put it in, but I'm like, fuck, they're looking at me. I just threw the bag. Then I buzzed the gate closed so I could start closing so I could just get in. But a truck was coming straight at me. Boom, and knocked the whole gate out. These are big gates, as big as this. It knocked the whole gate off the rail, and I jumped out of the way. And then fools were already, and they were in another car. So they tackled me, cuffed my feet, wrapped me up. Boom, and it was over. 5-10 seconds, not like 5 seconds. I don't know, maybe 3. It's quick.
So you knew right away.
And then, I didn't know because, see, there was a lot of shit going on. I just thought it was my enemy because 2 weeks before, there was a dude parked outside my house, and this dude, heavy duty. Why is he parked? No one knows where I live, but this other dude knows where I live. And I knew right when I knew who it was that was there, I'm like, hell nah.
Bad news.
That means a SWAT team's coming any day now to get me. Like, that's how he moved. And it's a lot of things. Her, death, the government, the case, I'm in love, all this shit. Estoy como,
You're in turmoil, huh?
I'm in turmoil, and you get a, compartment, everything.
Yeah.
Y they get me. And then I find out that, they are, son estatales. They take me to their headquarters. That's that one picture they show me when I'm right there.
Oh, the famous picture.
Yeah, that one. And they were like ready for it because the paparazzi was waiting. They were there. They were there. The news was all there.
What are you thinking of this? When you're there and you're seeing all these pictures going on.
I was just like a little bit, you know what, honest, not too, see, because I don't want to sound like it's a fucking success story, but I did feel like a little bit of relief.
I was going to ask
because it was just like, it was so much weight on my shoulders, and okay, fuck it, they got me. And then, they ended up being cool. They let me make a call to her. I called her to her school. She starts crying and screaming, and that was another fucked up. Y luego, here I'm off to the U.S.
Because you're thinking you may never see her as a free man again.
Yeah. And I would call her. I would always call her from the county jail. Like, I would have phone time all day, but how long could that last, Right. I had it good in there, but that don't last forever for everybody.
So now you're in the county jail, and you're going from Angel.
No, I was.
Well, now you're
from Sebastian to fucking from Sebastian.
Oh, now you're Sebastian, way.
Sebastian.
Now, did you look at the yellow pages and say this is the name, or did you pick names you liked?
Man,
let's keep it real.
I mean, I just pick a name that roll off my tongue easy that I can remember.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. And so Sebastian's in the county now, and all of a sudden Sebastian's
it's Jose again now.
Not even Jose. It's gotta come back to being Conejo.
That was because see, that's what I'm saying. When I was over there, I don't fuck with homies.
That's what I'm saying.
I fuck with homies that I fuck with. But if there was homies on the street,
you're not.
I'm not trying to talk like a veces llegaban homies because a homie could recognize a homie, even though I'm looking low key normal.
Yes.
you know, they'll
The vibe.
hey,
the
what's
talk.
up, my G? Hey, ¿qué onda? I'll talk like a straight paisa. I'll flip it on them. They'll ask me in English, I'll answer in Spanish. And then I'll just like shake them, you know, and I'll never tell nobody I was from Harpies. Never tell,
Nothing, yeah,
none of
course.
that.
You're on the run.
If
no
you were,
point.
like, if I really fuck with you, which was only really a handful, they knew. Because la mayoría de mis boys eran de Southeast Logan Heights.
Okay.
And those are my boys I used to go to Sweat Lodge with, and we was always at the Sweat Lodge sweating, and that's, you know, that's who I fuck with. It was just like
That was your core group.
my core group, you know, and everybody was low key, and you know, they look out, and you know, I had homies from my hood that were over there, but they were low key, and I would fuck like.
You were only messing on guys at your level.
Yeah,
that are hiding
yeah. I
like
wasn't
that.
trying to like,
Nah.
cause see, I was over there casi los 15 years, right? From when I got there to when I left, I started seeing deportees double, triple, quadruple.
Oh, that's right.
And then there was spots where I would go hide in plain sight. Like, for instance, there was a place where I would take her. It's called Mundo Divertido, little mini Disneyland, right? Here, I'll buy her the little pass, the little wristband, give her a gang of coins, go. And I'd be there with my phones doing all my texts, all my business. Yo ahí, while she played. Nobody knew I was in there. I'll be in the cut and shoot 2-3
Conejo
hours.
from Harpies was in
Yeah,
there.
well, I'm eating pizza with her, ice cream, playing video games. We'll do all that shit. Pure dad and daughter shit, right? But as time went on, dudes started showing up with fucking, oh, that dude's wearing a Cowboys jersey. That dude got a LA hat. Oh, that dude's on the Raiders shit. Oh, shit. I started, and it's crazy because I was over, when we were over there, right? We were a team, right? And one time there was an issue with another team that we didn't even know, but we found out there was another team.
Right.
So there was this issue, and they brought both teams together to everybody somebody's lying, and one team. So I was like, oh shit. But they were like us.
Yeah.
I would never would have known if they wouldn't. I seen, you know, they got their symbols that really
Yeah, stand out.
that stand out, and but they were real covered up. They were like us, like never
Low pro.
low pro, low key, real respectful, like us. Only talk Spanish. They like
Wow.
nada de pocho, nada de esa madre, puro pinche
mexicano,
puro
compa.
mexicano. Y so now I'm in the county.
Now you're in the county,
Back forward, because this is a jumping back and forth
Yeah.
story, you know. So I'm in the county, I'm calling her, you know, it's kind of awkward at first, you know, like, because I haven't been around homies like that in a long time.
Man, you're with the
And
business.
then I hit when I llego, okay, pues llegas al county, processing, up, down, whatever,
Uh-huh.
ya me mandan a Supermax. I walk through the dorm, the first thing they ask me is, you got any dope? And I'm like, nah.
You brought some clavo, homie, for the casa, carnal.
Yeah, now I'm like, nah. Y me dieron quebrada, they let me sleep. I slept for like 3 days. That was the first time I slept 3 days.
That you actually got some sleep.
Sleep. I slept for 3 days. I'll get up for child, but go right back to, I was so tired. My body was just exhausted.
Well, your body, your mind.
My mind, my body, everything, my soul. I was just like, I was out of it. And then I started like,
You're
damn.
kind of defeated?
Yeah, I just was like, you know, I'm not
went
saying
through
I was living
depression?
like a king, but I was over there eating mariscos, Venezuelan food, Argentinian food. I was
You're
just
living
eating,
good, and you got your daughter, and your
Yeah.
life is going. And
Yeah,
now you're
so-
sitting in the county jail.
eating with soy, whatever the fake meat is, or whatever soy meat. I don't know.
And the
And
mystery meat with fucking sopas.
everything is salt or everything is sugar. Like
Yeah.
it's all bad for you, you know. And now I'm just, but you know, there's a lot of cool homies, good homies I met in there and shit. And
Of course.
And then cuando yo llego, it's like everybody knows. It's like I'm fucking Snoop Dogg's in there or whatever. Or not that bad.
Well,
but,
as far as the homies go, yeah, for sure, Conejo.
They-
Everybody
they-
knew your name, everybody knew your
yeah.
story.
And then fools were even sending me. They started sending me dope. They were like, "Oh, we're gonna get this food." I'm thinking, let's get
No,
this
they were
food
just
strong.
thinking they were hooking you up, homie.
Yeah, you know, and I gave the shit away. You know, I'm like, really, I'm not.
Some vatos watching right now saying, "Damn, you get my fucking clavo."
Yeah. I hope he's out. Whoever, you know, and I started getting kites, and it was kind of like
Well, it was in the news. What year was that when you got?
2016, November 2016.
If you think about it, it's really not that long ago.
Nah. And I was only there like a year and a half, and I never even went to prelim. I just was go to arraignment, and they postpone.
So you fought it for a year and a half in the
A
county?
year and a half, and then okay, so first court, you're looking at the death penalty. Fuck me up again.
Yeah.
I'm in there, and I'm like, everybody in the tank's like, damn, Conejo, death penalty. Oh shit. I know that shit rumor went hit the whole county. Because
sure.
it's like a network of intelligence. the LA County Jail, right?
Todos hablando, güey.
Y pues, so then, but then life. Y luego at one point, after like a year and some change, llegó mi lawyer, good news, bad news. What's the bad news?
Did you have this attorney all the way through?
Yeah,
Okay.
Jewish gangster fool.
That's the ones you want, homeboy.
Yeah, de hecho cuando venía a visitarme, siempre que venía me decía shalom, babe.
Shabbat shalom, homeboy.
Yeah, and he'll pound me así in the window. Shalom, shalom. Y entonces he's just like, look, the bad news is they just offer you 3 years. And I'm like, man, that's fucking great news. I'm taking it. I don't wanna
Risk all this.
Nah, because fools were getting like crazy triple digits and high double digits and just a lot of despair, you know. And there was a couple fools fighting the death penalty. Asian dude which was cool as fuck. He was from Asian Boys, cool as fuck. He kicked them more with the homies than you know his side.
Right.
Y you know. I don't know.
You just saw everybody getting broken off, homeboy.
Yeah, broken off. And then I remember when I came back from the attorney visit, and man, they offered me 3 years. Oh, all these todos se agüitaron. Se agüitan. I mean, they're happy for you, but you know, they don't want to see you leave. You know, like, pues that's like, it's good news, but it's like, fuck, because not everybody has the same luck or opportunity or whatever.
Not, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, I was with my girl and I'm like, man, let's take it. Okay, take it. Y le estoy marque like the day before I'm a lawyer. And I'm like, Stuart, I'm taking it. No, you're not, Jose. I'm going to get you something better. And I'm like, that is better. There is nothing better. I'll see you in court tomorrow. Y no me quedé, this fool, I was mad. I was like, I get to court. I'll always be the first guy in court because I had a paid attorney. So ese güey llega bien happy el güey. I'm going to be right back. Se va como por unos 20, 30 minutes. Llega para atrás el güey. You'll be home tonight by 7 p.m. I'm going to get you a voluntary manslaughter with a 6-year joint suspension, 5-year probation. You'll walk out today. You'll take it? I'm like, fuck yeah. My pops tiene cancer. I want to see my family. I haven't seen the family, you know, and I miss my sisters, you know. I miss everybody. I miss the whole family, you know. I just want to go home by then. By now it's been almost like 16 years and a half. I haven't been home. So I took it. I took the deal. That was the last fool they let out of CCB court that night. And that's it. I called her. We started crying. I called her, FaceTime.
Did it feel kind of unreal when they said, you know, the judge get the gavel and said, give you a sense? Did it kind of feel like this ain't really happening right now?
Okay, I'm trying to see. Because when it happened, they told me in the tank.
Right.
So in the tank, everybody's like, let me get that fool's number, the lawyer's number. Let me get that fool's number.
You better have some money to pay that, boy.
Yeah, I was like,
that shit ain't cheap, homie.
Yeah. So I was like, hold up, let me make sure I sign. Y luego ya empezó a dar la tarjeta. Y I knew, and then my mom, I seen her out there, and one of my sisters, and then they're like crying, like they can't believe it.
I bet.
I'm like looking at my wife, like smiling, like what the fuck?
Right.
Crazy. And there was this one lady that would write me, right? She's like homies with Victory Outreach, and she came with like all these pastors and.
I've been praying for you, homeboy.
Yeah, no, and she told me like desde antes, you're gonna get out on your next court date. I promise you. It's like psychic shit, right? Y ya. And even my girl was like, man, who was that lady? Like, she came in there like she owned the court building, like with that pastor, whoever they were, like Victor, you know, shout out to them. Yeah.
She had God on her side.
So, yeah, you know, you go under, come out another court, sign it, take me to the tanks. They're deep, you know, now, wayside. Fools are leaving. It starts getting smaller. Then they put me in a little last tank by myself. I'm like, man, maybe this shit's not real.
Right.
It's already, it's 5. Yes, there is no more court. Court's closed. Why they ain't letting me out? But I walked out at like 7. Ya estaba en un paper jumpsuit, black Crocs.
Man, where was your daughter this time?
She was in TJ.
She was in Tijuana.
Yeah, so with her mom. So entonces, en cuanto we walked to the parking structure to get in my sister's car, le digo, hey, hazle FaceTime. See, because I'm not doing FaceTime over there in Mexico. Not really, here and there. But I would never show my face if I did. Because I would FaceTime you guys, right? Sometimes like for school stuff, but I wouldn't show my face or I'll fuck around, put on a mask or something, you
Sebastian.
know? Yeah. So we call her and she starts crying because she thinks I'm a cutout. She thought that they were fucking with her. And then we just like, we both like broke down and, you know, yeah, nah. And then that's it. It started the new journey.
So now you gotta, man, you're just going from culture shock to culture shock, man. You went from Mexico and now you're back in the States. How was that now? All of a sudden, because a lot has changed since you left and you came back.
Okay, but my wife, she's from Ventura.
Okay.
So I go to my mom's house after this. I go there, they do a little barbecue for me. And then, and I tell my mom, I'm married. And then she's like, what? I'm going, bye mom, ya me voy. ¿Cómo? ¿No te vas a quedar aquí at least one night? No, ya me voy, es mi esposa, estoy casado, I'm out. So I go to Ventura. I was like, where the fuck am I? This shit looks like the woods, like the exit. Now that I take these, I love these roads now. All these back roads.
Yeah, they're nice and windy with trees.
I love them and shit. They're like,
for sure.
They're like green and mountains and bushes and plants and flowers but with that first night, I was just that same feeling again, like when you're out of your comfort zone and you just feel it right here in your gut. Like, remember my girl had me a whole like suit ready, you know, like little Under Armour sweat kit.
That's right.
And then I'm like pulling right here, she's like, yeah, you can get socks for me, me mete a Ross. I was like, that was the first time I go to a Ross in my life. And I'm like, man, this shit pretty cool.
That's right.
You know, but later I find out that fools be embarrassed to go to Ross, you know?
Yeah, they'd be trying to floss too much.
Yeah, and I ran into fools at Ross and they're like, oh shit. Because I'll pull up in Ross and give a fuck.
Yeah, for sure, homeboy.
Go to Ross and then I go to the Rouse to buy shit, you know? And I remember the second night I was home, me chingué 3 big ass sandwiches, like turkey, lettuce, tomato, cheese, stacked. Me comí uno, my girl's knocked out, and I'm fucking with Netflix, you know? So I'm in the living room like, damn, all right. Me chingo uno, and I'm like, man, I'm hungry, I want another one. 2, and then the third one no me lo acabé, but I remember that second night, 3 sandwiches and shit. Y I get going. I go to this probation. I'm even though I'm staying in Ventura, I got probation in LA.
Right.
Which was like a blessing too, because LA's not gonna drive out to Ventura to fuck with me like that.
All the time, right.
They're not. And then I had a cool as fuck. And then I started into the movie stuff, and then she was just like showing off, like, man, my probationary, or they have a name for us, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, this fool's doing movies now, like, and he's like, you know, cool, like. And then one time I was trying to go to the Bahamas, right? So I called her for a month, y nunca me contestó, porque allá, you know, LA County, we have fucking that case files up the ass,
yes.
like. And I was over there. I would go to a Crenshaw. What is it? Exposition. Yeah, that was where it was at, right? And I walk in. I'm like, man, everybody looks like a fucking bum. Everybody look homeless. I'm like, all these fools, why are they even on probation? Like, they look like mental. People have mental issues, and I'll be the only one nicely dressed. I'll be like waiting for my name and shit. And so I tell her, una vez voy y le digo, man, Miss Andrews, I was calling you for like a month and a week. She's like, why? I go, I want to go to Bahamas with my girl. She's like, you should have just left.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, oh, man.
Now you tell me.
Yeah, she said, you know, she was real cool with me. She gave me action because I was running around in New York. I started going there. We started doing the shows.
You started networking very quick.
Yeah. I felt like I hit the ground running.
You ain't stopped.
Because I feel like when I was over there, I was just like como speaking it into like I don't know, it was weird. Like
to fruition. I'm gonna do this when I get out.
Because I would see everybody, right? I'll have my little laptop and I'll be right there watching everybody from. It's crazy because I remember when the first time I seen prayers on YouTube.
Right.
I'm like, man, I don't fuck with that fool. And Kat Von D, I used to see her all the time because of the tattoo show.
Right.
And I remember she was tattooing in Miami, and I'm like, man, all these fools are whack except for her. She tats like a homie.
Yeah.
Powder shades. She's like a G, you know. And I would be rooting for her. And then, or just anybody, like let's just say even like como Esteban Orio or any of the homies, and I would see this online, and it made me get homesick. Yeah. But I would like like I don't know if I was talking to myself or thinking to myself, but I knew that if I could, I always knew if I could get there, I'll end up fucking with con todos. I know I could, if I could get there, I feel like, and then you see, I was dropping albums nonstop, and even that process of albums, you could tell what I was going through because some albums are lit.
Right.
We still got time on there?
Yeah, 30 minutes.
Oh shit.
We getting there.
We have to reload that shit. Of that.
No, for sure. We're already 2 hours and...
Oh shit! I didn't even feel it.
Five.
Yeah, so some of those albums are lit. Just my attitude, my ego's through the roof, and some of them you could tell where I'm like I'm in the bottom, like whatever I'm going through is fucking with me, and I would always record to just like unload, you know, and like sort of like therapy, and almost like, you know, like the natives or just all indigenous people would carve on the rocks. They left their story, so I was like, man, I'm leaving my fucking story. And then, you know, I always been competitive, so I'm like, man, fuck that. Even though I'm not there, I'm gonna let my presence be known.
Yeah,
I'm gonna flood the game so much that there's no way that they could, my name could be avoided in a conversation, you know. And to this, I don't think there's no homie that has more albums than me in the game, or any. Over like 100, like 120, 130, like 1,500 songs out there.
Even without all those albums, you still make your mark, and you're still making that mark right now. Conejo, and it's just amazing all you went through, brother. And the greatest part of this story is that who you become now. Because if this story would have been the way it is, and you would have been back on the streets, back in jail, back in that, this story wouldn't be what it is.
It's
brother.
crazy because, you know, I mean, dudes like my boy from Mexico City, right? I'm trying to get it so I could go over there and do a show, right?
Right.
And he tells me, he's like, hey, and Nesa is like G'd up. Mexico City, that area, the Nesa, savage right there. You know, right there they beat up cops, or cops are from the gang. Like it's just a weird
like
dynamic
that,
right there, right? And he tells me, he's like, hey, dicen los compas que por qué ya no te tumbas. And I'm like, hey, güey, tú me miraste allá. ¿Cuándo chingados me miraste tumbado a la verga, güey? Nunca, güey. Yeah, but they still have that shady picture from the Shady album in their mind. They think you're wearing them Ben Davis and the Stacey Adams y el Tandito. They think that's still you. I'm like, fool, you know, you seen me when I was on the run. I look nothing like that.
You've evolved.
Yeah, and even now it's like that because homies feel like not like my homies that I fuck with, they know what's up. They got love for me and they understand and everything. But a lot of people, like I told
Some
this
people
fool,
do. I've seen that. Yeah.
like I was telling this fool last time, I go, fool, I didn't get a second chance at life to come back and become a fucking Raider, Dodger, Laker, Ram fan.
Straight
Even
up.
I'm not nothing against them, but
I respect that shit.
But now, like, look, I was in the UK. I just came from Colombia. That's the shit I care about.
You a successful fucking artist. You're a successful father, husband. I mean, the whole shebang, homeboy.
Yeah, so I rather like after what Mexico did to me, I almost feel like
You're not trying to go backwards.
I feel like the world is my home now.
That's right.
Like, yeah, I got displaced one time, and now I feel like I could. De hecho, the PTSD, no matter where I'm at. Look, I get to London, right? Get to London. I'm in London. Then I'm in fucking a bunch of places in Scotland, a bunch of places in Ireland.
Wow.
And everywhere I go, I'm just like, I scope everything out, right? Because I got a boy, he's Irish, right? And this fool's like, his family was, ¿cómo se llaman? IRA and all.
Yeah.
And he's like, look, here's a number, anything, you call this number, they already know you're coming, you know, you be straight. And I'm walking, like even in Ireland, I'm just like, I scope everything out. I'm like, could I be a fugitive here? Like the fugitive, that shit's in me. That somebody no se me quita, and I feel like, could I make it? How would I make it? If I was in Europe, how can I make it? Because over here, I would stand out. Crazy.
Yes.
I just came from Colombia. I was in Bogotá un mes. And Bogotá is like Mexico. You know, in Bogotá, it was because I was over there and I wasn't shooting every day. And the days that we weren't shooting, we had to go train. Because we were like 20, 30 minutes away from Bogotá. It's called Chia. Because we were shooting.
You doing a movie out there?
Yeah, we just did a movie recently. I think it's gonna be on Amazon. Because
right.
Amazon showed up.
You killed that tax collector, by the way. You kind of stole that show, homeboy. Just let you know.
Thank you.
Straight up, homeboy. That was dope, man.
Well, this one I'm gonna be that same dude again, but different. Colombiano. Que chimba, parce.
That's
I'm over here like talking like you know, like I had to.
Hey, Shia LaBeouf from the hood, homie.
Yup.
That's that real quick.
Yup,
homie.
yup.
That's that real
I
quick.
put them on.
That's right.
Anybody else, I put that fool on. Yeah, tío, so Colombia, I was walking in Colombia because I would walk to the gym, then I'll go get something to eat. I'll go to the mall, jump in the Uber, doing exploring, right? And I felt like when I first got to Mexico, because I was walking,
Yes.
and in LA I was driving. I get to on the run, I'm walking. It's kind of fucked up my ego.
Right.
Like, and then I'm seeing, fools driving and I'm walking in Mexico. I'm like, damn, oh bad. This shit makes me feel like nothing. Like I'm, I don't know. It's just dumb, which is, it's not really like that, but we think like that. Like, or,
Right. But now you're here with your partner in crime.
yeah, she's back. She's back on the set.
Your daughter, your family. Dude,
More kids, yeah.
you're doing it. How's Conejo as a family man? And how do you juggle all this?
It's hard because, I love it. It's a blessing because I kind of, even that, I like when I was over there, I just wanted I would think man, I need a woman that is going to support me, not trip on my religious beliefs because I'm into all this other, I got involved with the Afro-Cuban religions heavy in Mexico.
Right.
That's not going to freak out and that's going to support me and that it's cool. I would think this over there, Who knows? I might have did some voodoo for this shit to happen.
That's what they say. They say you'd be on that voodoo stuff, but that'll be for our next podcast.
Yeah, I kind of wanted this to happen. I spoke it into existence almost,
Yes.
and but sometimes it's crazy. Like you like what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for because
what you wish for just might
because
get.
me llegaron todos estos
Sí,
and now
güey.
it's like they're all in 3 different schools. I'm running around. I'm dad. And then I still gotta find time to handle my business and produce income, and at the same time trying to be creative. So it's but I'll make it work. I'm not. See, that's nothing compared to over there because over there I have my back against the wall and I make that shit happen easy.
So
even though it was hard, I made it easy.
What's Conejo doing in the next 5 years, and what's Conejo doing currently as far as projects?
Honestly, I think Conejo in the next 5 years is just gonna dip off into writing, productions.
Have you written a book of what you did? That's an amazing story.
Eventually, I feel like I'm doing it
Or
through
a
my
movie. I
podcast.
think I can play Conejo.
Yeah. I feel like I think just production, producing stuff, being behind things and writing, because I already got the taste. I wrote on a series before.
Okay.
So I got to feel what it feels like and I like that world, and it's just everybody's creative, and that's why some fools are I heard something oh nah, Conejo ain't on this, homie capped already. I'm on that level.
That's right.
Fuck you talking about,
That's right.
I'm over here dealing with people you're never gonna get to be around. You a
sir.
rapper. That's
sir.
it, homie. I'm more than that.
Absolutely.
Not to shit on nobody,
Absolutely not.
but blessings to everybody, and everybody does the best they can, and that's cool. But I'm like I said,
You're expanding, huh, buddy?
yeah, I'm expanding, and I don't want to be trapped right there. Cause look, I just turned 48. Yeah, fools. I've seen sometimes, man, shut your old ass up and stop rapping. But I got bars for days, and that's just never gonna stop.
And
it's
people are still coming to watch you.
yeah, and it's different because I've been doing it, and I don't know. I think I think it. You know what it is that I noticed that rappers that have a movement go. Rappers that don't have no movement, they're trying gimmicks and they want to pay for the feature, and they're trying to fuck with these. They're trying their hardest.
They think they're gonna get a feature and they're gonna hit them
And
with
that's
that.
gonna
They're
go.
get 'em. Yeah, it
and
doesn't
the
work
thing
that
is,
way.
in this game, whether it's music, movies, anything, there's no shortcuts.
Yes,
There's
sir.
no. Te la tienes que rifar, y you
gotta
gotta
work
work
for it,
hard.
homeboy.
You gotta work hard. Te la tienes que rifar, and may the gods be with you. And
I'm knowing. I've been calling Prime every day for the last 2 weeks. His
This-
eyes look beautiful. Let me get a Conejo interview, homeboy.
it's crazy because I worked with Prime for 15 years, and I never met him until I came home.
Really?
Never met
That's
him.
a story in itself.
Never met him.
That's-
That's for everybody because I would hear all these names.
Right.
Okay, this rapper, that rapper. It felt like I knew him, but I didn't know him. And now when I meet him, it's like, all right,
That's
cool.
right.
I met
It
this
felt
fool.
right. It felt right. Honestly, it felt like, damn, it's clear, right? First,
Yeah.
we got to work like this, photo shoot.
The
right
first thing
on.
was a photo shoot, and then we just kept it going. And as a matter of fact, your first video, I was like, he didn't want to do a video, And that's I think that's my illest video. It's called Semi-Automatic. We shot it all in Chicago and New York.
That's right.
Even shit like that, like a veces pienso, like, not to give advice to nobody, but I feel like the homies should get out of LA. The love is out there.
What's in the box? They don't know. They're
The love is everywhere else, I feel like. And then when you come home, you feel like you get embraced, and you come back inspired because you experience like I love New York. Like New York was always like a thought, like that's the fucking Mecca. I'm going there. I don't give a fuck. And now you go there, and New York is LA in the 90s. Están all choloed out.
Really?
Sur 13 across their face.
Really?
Sureño across their neck. All these Mexican gangs. Mexicans are super deep over there. And we just did a show there like last month. And it's like then there's full of Bloods and it's full of Crips.
You thought you were in a time machine back
It's like that. What's that DJ Quick song? It's just like Compton.
Yeah.
That's it right there. It's just like Compton.
Wow, I didn't know.
Everywhere, like in all these cities, because all these cities that we hit, our culture has fucking invaded everywhere. You know, like, and that's why I tell the homies, get the fuck out. Even if you don't get paid, but experience it. Open up these markets for yourself. It's
Open
cool.
up your horizons, homeboy.
Yeah, and you never know what's out there. You know,
That's right.
There's a blessing in the cup for you.
Well, I want to thank Prime, of course, homeboy. I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity, because I know you really don't do much of this. You keep your circle very small, and I completely understand. I want to thank you, Conejo, for giving me this opportunity, homeboy. It was a great
thank
thing,
you.
homeboy.
I've been wanting to do it, but we're just waiting for the right time.
This is it,
I think
homeboy.
it's perfect. We've been chilling, like I don't know. It felt right today, you know.
Yeah, absolutely, but
Because
then
2 hours, I didn't even feel it.
that's when you know it's good, homeboy. I'm just knowing the time's running out. That's why I gotta sit there.
That's what happens when you shoot in 6K.
There you go.
Esa madre se traga toda la pinche memoria.
Pues ahí está, carnal. Muchísimas gracias, and we're gonna do that live next time and get it in, homeboy. Appreciate you, my man.
Blessings. Thank you.
That's right, homeboy.